Audio cue on.
I'm loose. I said I'm loose, baby.
Well, hey there, friends. Welcome to the show. Jimmy Spice checking in with $2 Tony. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm great.
I'm excited about our show today. I'm excited about the movie. I'm excited about our guest.
I'm just physically excited in general.
Are you excited about your new haircut?
I'd rather not talk about it, but it's fine. It was very expensive. My friend Billy wanted me to go and patronize this barber that he sees on TikTok.
You used a bowl?
No. He
Okay.
typically does like wild, fades and the Zoomer Gen Z broccoli haircut, but he gave me a pretty normal.
I was going to say, I was a little underwhelmed today when you walked in, but...
cost $170.
Yeah, I had to throw that out there for sure.
It's cool that the edges are, blended or whatever, but definitely not worth that amount of money. I've never paid more than $20 for a haircut personally, so if it was if I didn't have the bill being footed by my boy, it wouldn't have happened at all.
I mean, whatever you got to tell yourself or our listeners, but I think you love it.
Sure.
All right.
Moving on. I fucking hate getting a haircut and everybody going, oh, you cut your fucking hair. I want to fucking blow up my workplace every time this happens. I'm like, I'm going to give you a haircut with a noose. It's very upsetting.
Exactly the response I was hoping for. So our guest today is Zach. What's up, Zach? Hey, man, wake up.
I personally think it's really good.
Two mics, too.
None of this will be in the shot.
Are you comfortable? You can be on the...
I'm uncomfortable. Can you see my crotch? Because I have different underwear on that I normally don't wear.
Jesus Christ. Just make sure your bulge is facing the camera.
Those are Lululemon undies. I walked past there the other day when I was buying my obscenely priced sunglasses.
Let's start recording.
Hey, man, wake up. Hey, man.
Oh, what's up?
How's it going?
Wake up. I was asleep.
Look who's here. Look who's awake.
Yeah, it's Zach.
Welcome, Zach. Thanks for coming,
I'm
bro.
excited. This is, I was just saying, this is exciting to see the behind the scenes. I'm an avid viewer of your podcast.
Oh, yeah? That's awesome. Thank you. I like your stuff, too, that I see. All of your roofing stuff.
I don't post that much.
No?
The roof.
Am I just being polite?
The recent roofs. Yeah, you're being polite.
Okay.
Drone shots. Pretty cool. How do you pull that off?
Yeah.
Drone. But
There you go.
I have friends in the real estate industry, and I don't actually want to make a business out of it, but I would like someone at some point I want to get to the point where someone's like, hey man, you should do real estate. Take my shots at the real estate or whatever. Because it's fun to drive. It's difficult to get good at it, but it's fun to kind of.
Do you know what EB thinks you should do?
EB Tucker.
Yeah. We were talking about you the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
EB's
He thinks you would make a great gold trader.
I do trade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he
trade.
just thinks that you have the energy that the successful gold coin traders that he knows that are honest. See, because can be very.
Are we talking about
business.
on the market?
No, selling actual gold
in person.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused how being behind a computer. Okay,
Like a goblin?
No.
that's interesting.
Like one of the Harry Potter goblins?
We're talking about gold, brother.
I don't understand what
Like
this
bars of gold.
entails.
I think I've seen a video
so
online.
buy a bar of gold and then you go and you trade it to someone for what?
Yeah.
A cauldron?
Like some guy will have like a brief, whatever. I've seen a video of it, and some person had a briefcase of gold that he had acquired from family or whatever,
people
and
call
then
it gold. It's called preservation of wealth.
Okay.
Yeah, and so people sell gold.
Yeah.
You know, like how you drive in the pawn shop district, there'll be all these cash for gold places.
Yes.
So those people also sell gold in the coin form.
I do know that the Nazis would pull the gold teeth out of their victims.
Yeah, gold's pretty valuable. Yeah, so there's this whole world of trading behind it. It's actually at an all-time high right now. Well, it's always at an all-time high. Gold rarely drops. It just isn't like a super exciting thing to trade because it doesn't, like Bitcoin or whatever goes 4x. Yeah, it's exciting. Gold's not exciting, but
if it only increases in value, why would you ever get rid of it?
you need money for investments or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's one of those things you kind of just want to give to your children. It's very what's the term that fucking EB used to use? EB wrote a book about it.
Yeah, he's really successful in that. And
He used to trade in gold royalties. You're off the mic, I guess.
I don't know what.
Right there. Pretend it's a tasty sandwich.
Yeah, gold. I mean, the whole gold conversation is pretty
boring.
I'd like a gold bar. I think that'd be nice
I just remembered this the other day, dude. We were talking about you like 3 or 4 weeks ago. He was like, "Man, Zach would be great at that, at selling." Because it's actually, he just wrote a Substack about it, and people are ripping. A lot of people are getting ripped off.
As is with any business, I guess, selling and buying.
Well, is that like they buy gold and then they think it's gold coins and it turns out they're filled with chocolate?
No, it's tungsten. Typically, what they do is they sell you tungsten that's painted with gold.
Ah, tungsten's very heavy. I know that.
Yeah, and it can be, mistaken for gold, especially if it's sprayed with gold. But like where a bar that's tungsten painted with gold is worth like $120.
All of my knowledge about this is
$3,000 an ounce right now.
Harry Potter and then James Bond movie Goldfinger paints the lady gold, she dies. You see her butt.
Oh,
check it out.
Yeah, I love
it's my movie recommendation.
There's a really cool story. Did you ever see the movie Pi?
No.
Darren Aronofsky's first movie.
No.
So in that movie, and I use this reference at work all the time with people when I'm faced with a problem that it seems bigger than I can handle in the moment. The story of Archimedes, King Arthur's scientist. So King Arthur's getting a bunch of birthday presents and they're gold. Okay. And he goes to his scientist and he's like, "Hey man, I don't know if this shit is actually gold. I need you to test it for me." And this is medieval times, and he doesn't know how to test whether it's gold or not.
Yeah, there's no drops or whatever.
So he's going crazy, and he is in his laboratory for weeks and weeks. He's not sleeping, he's not eating, he's not bathing. And his wife goes to him, and she says,
Archimedes had a wife?
Yeah.
Dang.
And his wife says, "If you don't wash your stinky ass, you are moving out of this home. You are no longer allowed to be my husband.
Not
I will
supportive.
not play with your genitals anymore."
Sounds like a bitch.
So he immediately decides, okay, I'm going to set my work down and I'm going to go take a bath. And he gets in the bath and he sees the water rise in the bathtub and it's fucking eureka. Weight displacement is a way to determine density.
Okay.
And that is how he's going to determine if things are gold or not. He's going to have something proven gold and check the weight displacement on that. And so the lesson being, sometimes you just need to step away from your problem. And it's hard to see a problem when you're in the middle of it. You got to step back, take a bath.
I've stepped away from all of my problems.
Yeah. Well, you have to step
just
back.
Ignoring them all.
No, so we have this rule at work too. As a plumber, you can get in the middle of a problem and just things will just get worse. It'll snowball and everything you touch will turn to shit and you have to reset. We'll go sit in the van, pump the AC, have a Diet Cola.
Jack off.
Maybe have a vape or rip a dart if that's your thing,
Sure.
Sort of reset.
I like the term dart for cigarette.
Me too, dude. I love using that. My buddy who's about to have a baby is back on him hard, and I was making fun of him yesterday.
There's certain moments where a Newport Short.
Oh man.
And the idea, because I'll be Paxson and it's like not fun. Yeah. But an idea, if I could just like certain movies or I was working out yesterday doing like one of those dumb workouts that Chris and them do. That I do too, obviously. Like an hour and a half of just conditioning and crazy at like 9 a.m. It's 100 degrees. And I was like, Newport Short would taste really good right now. Just when your body's depleted and you just fill it with tobacco and nicotine, the high you get.
Yeah, smoking a cig after the gym is very pleasurable.
It is.
Newport Short also, you can smoke that thing in one fucking drag.
I used to work when I was getting sober, I used to work at Powerhouse, which at the time, downtown version, at the time was like they called it the Mecca. It literally was the Mecca. If you were anybody.
EB loved that place.
You were EB there. Yeah. You were working out there. But I was so insecure about still smoking before I quit. I would go and drive my car in the parking garage and circle the top of the parking garage with like a women's latex glove on and try to hide because I didn't want to go back in the gym and smell like cigarettes.
Why did it have to be a woman's glove?
I just thought it was a woman's glove. It was like it was a system that I had, and then because it's the smell in your fingers.
Yeah.
You're shaking someone's hand or whiffing near their face.
As you do. Yeah. As you do.
Yeah.
You just do that to people.
Shoo people.
$50 a month, sir. And he smells cigarettes, he'll walk out the door. He could.
That I've expressed before on this program that seeing people use drugs and alcohol doesn't really like bother me as much. There are instances. Tony made a good point last week about how like when it's like a detective who's like on a case and he's all like angry,
he's stressed out and he like snorts morphine, or drinking. That makes more sense.
No, that's
that too. Laudanum, right? In that, what's that
Sherlock
movie?
Holmes was geeked on morphine all the time.
Well, From Hell with Johnny Depp, he's doing laudanum the whole time.
Blow! What a great movie.
We've discussed that on the pod before.
And he, but when people, and that doesn't really get to me. I don't know why. I'm just like whatever. But cigarettes, dude, I miss them.
Darts.
I miss them every single day.
I call them darts.
Darts, yeah.
Just a personal thing. Yeah.
I guess do you not have to bleep fag if it's referring to a cigarette?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Fagging a dart. That's literally what they say in England. Yeah.
All right. You know what's funny is I had a question that were your thoughts on cigarettes for later. We can go ahead and check that one off the list.
Love. I to this day, people who quit that I talk to, people who quit, they're like, oh God, like they lose the sensation of being around it. Most people are like, oh, I can't believe, like, I don't want to go into this business or whatever it is, a situation where there's cigarettes. If there's fresh smoke, like part of Friday Night Men's, I'm upset. You were smoking outside, I think, and I'm just like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things.
I think we go through cycles, and like vaping and stuff is kind of edging out. Obviously, Zins are hot, and I think there's certain cultures that are still like cigarettes are kind of becoming more acceptable because they're so. If you drink, I have friends that drink and go out, and they'll rip cigarettes, and it's just like
it's
culturally becoming more acceptable.
Yeah, well, Post Malone's always smoking. Lana Del Rey is another like very popular.
Brad Pitt, one of my favorite actors.
Dude. I think that's tomato, sir.
There's a collection of great pictures of Ben Affleck smoking cigarettes and looking really depressed.
Yeah, great memes have come from that.
Yeah,
Ben Affleck. I like Ben Affleck.
I love
too.
cigarettes. They're great, dude.
I stopped smoking in my car because I'm trying to, manifest a woman someday getting into it. And I smoke like one cigarette a day now. And I used to smoke at least a half pack. So.
I can't believe my wife, dude, she put up with it for like, I've been quit now 3 years or something. And dude, so we met, she never smoked. We met, courted, moved in, had children, all while I was smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother, whose birthday it is today, Grams.
Oh man, happy birthday, Grams.
She was an avid smoker before any activity, during any activity, after any activity. It was, hold on just 1 second, let me have a cigarette. And I was asking her, how did Pop deal with that? Because he didn't smoke, didn't drink, and they were married, until he passed.
God, dude, that's
and
awesome.
She told me a story of how they were like going to bed one night, and he's like, Marge, you're going to be at heaven's pearly gates, getting ready to let in, and you're going to say, 1 second, let me have a cigarette, and then went to bed. But I don't know how anybody. I have cigarette. When my grandmother gave me her car, loaned me her car when I got sober, there was cigarette hole. Like I had, the ash falls, you're high as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm falling on. I'm like driving the car now in sobriety, but it's just like I don't know how she put up with me just ripping, drawing, burning holes in her seats upholstery.
I think older people grew up with cigarette burns all over the place.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were way more familiar.
Well, I had a couple months where my windows didn't roll down in my car, so I had the moonroof open. And
I rode with you when you were doing one of these. That's how I smoked.
And sometimes I would miss, and I would hit the ceiling and be like, "Ah, fuck," and like burn my hand and burn a hole in the ceiling.
We're so sick.
Dude, Caddy used to get his car back from me, and there'd be cigarette burns on the upholstery above the window because I'd drive from Philly to Westchester, and I'd cop in Philly.
Yeah.
And then, I'd get lit and then drive back to Westchester.
That's the best feeling.
And be on 76, bro, like trying to ash out the window, but just missing.
Cocaine or what were you using at the time?
Heroin, yeah. Driving, and that's hard
Coke
to do.
and cigs is great.
I wish I never got into the opiates. I tried Roxy's for a little while, and they just made me fucking crash and get sick.
Yeah.
And I'm always kind of like, because heroin, I feel like in the movies, maybe it's right or wrong, they not like. I was asking Chris about this. I was like, "What's the high?" Because you
get sleepy. It's
you knock
boring.
the fuck out. When are you up? Or is it just a Ambien?
When do you get to enjoy the feeling?
Well, in the beginning, it's like you're sick a lot, and then I feel like there was a short period.
You get sick for 3 years. And
and then there's a short period where you find this medium where you like feel good, and like you like go score some ice cream, and like
actual ice cream, or is that
eat
drug?
a whole pint of ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah,
they do. Heroin addicts love their treats.
Oh my god, dude, some sugar. And then what was really fun, what I got into for a while, was like you do a fat a dope shot and then immediately a fat Coke shot.
So you pass, you skip the sleepy cycle.
And then the speedball, and then you put them in the same injection, and then it's like, so you're getting
the chemistry
all
of it's very interesting.
Yeah, speedball's a pretty popular thing, man, you know, but
Isn't that what killed John Belushi?
Yeah, but they, you know, there's some, Bill Murray just spoke up on that was the first time he had ever done that. There was like this
Bill
general
Murray
idea.
was doing speedballs?
No, Bill Murray was there and he was there when Belushi, you know, he was at the party.
He pops up a lot of places.
And well, he was in the SNL at that period. He was on the cast.
Of course.
And there was this book that was written about it, and it said that John Belushi was like a horrible drug addict who was always doing speedballs. And Bill Murray was like, that was the first fucking time he ever did that.
How does he know?
John Belushi, because they were friends, and he was like, he was a party animal, but he wasn't like some like crazy drug addict.
Classic archetype. I think we've discussed this before. Big fat party animal hiding deep pain and sorrow.
Yeah.
Where you're like, everybody loves me. Got a Hawaiian shirt on. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
Chris
And you're just
Farley,
so
fucking-
sad and eating your feelings.
Gone
and-
too soon.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was like that. My
A BFPA.
sister's ex-husband, that he passed away from. He was a big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy, hiding pain. He was like 40 when he died, and it was from he was like 40. Actually, I think he was as old as I am now, and he was a waiter at the Olive Garden.
How old is that? Just for the record.
42.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to log that.
Yeah, and
Memory saved.
and he was a big like whiskey guy, you know, party time, and then get a bag of Coke guy.
Yeah.
And he did that, and it was one of these fentanyl bags that's, you know, become so popular that like a little bit of fentanyl in the Coke or whatever for whatever retarded reason, and it took his ass out. 5 children.
Well, he's eating Olive Garden in heaven now.
Yeah.
I think that the fentanyl, while the short term, I'm putting myself in the eyes of the market, while short term could rip mad benefits and profit to the shareholders, long term loses trust with the public.
Yeah,
and so
sure.
as I was thinking about, well, why don't more people do Coke when they drink? And I was thinking, well, socially accepted. But now you have the risk of fentanyl. If we can get the market back to pure Coke, I think that long term it would benefit the shareholders much more. Because
I would
people would
agree.
lose the fear, trust of like, this could be
concur.
fentanyl.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are just doing it anyway and don't care about it. It's still very popular, at least in New Orleans.
Yeah, well, and they don't they have the fentanyl strips now, the testing strips?
Yeah, but I would test my shit. It would come back positive, and I would just be like,
Just do a little less.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember
That was cheap.
you could tell back before fentanyl was like blowed up in Philly, you could tell when you get it because it would be a little gray in color and it will wash clear. So when you put water in it, it would look clear, where dope looks a little brown. And now my justification would be like, all right, I'll just do a little bit less. And it never really worked out that way. But
You'd know when you're doing it. I never, this whole world of like the exciting stuff, I was really boring. But I'm sure you would know if you did a little less, you're like, oh, this is fentanyl. Wouldn't the high be different than Coke? Or is it?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about when I was doing dope. And,
fentanyl.
Yeah, obviously be very different than Coke. But I think what's happened to a lot of people is they don't have the time to, you know, decipher. They think they're about to snort a line of blow. It
They're
turns out to
excited,
be a
they're
line
drunk.
of fentanyl.
Yeah.
And they're just gone. It doesn't take long for it to take effect or something, right?
Yeah, and what you're saying, you think they're putting it in there to keep people coming back because they're like, something about this particular Coke is just really making
it's
me
cheaper
feel
too, isn't
extra
it?
nice.
I mean, I guess
Fent is way cheaper than cocaine.
Yeah.
Cocaine's an organic product, and anything
It's
that you
also-
can synthesize is
It's
cheaper
also
than
way
that.
more potent. So where
It does the opposite.
say this
thing.
thing when you talk about shipping something, that's a big part of the drug trade is shipping.
Yeah.
And a Coke can's worth of cocaine, what do you think that's worth? Maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000.
Yeah, man.
Coke can full of fentanyl is worth like $50,000. So
sure.
it's just one shipping container can either be worth 10 million or 300 million. You know, so it's just like that's played a huge role, I think, in why fentanyl became such a traffic substance, because the dollar value of just you know, straight up arithmetic, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Tony, it's straight up arithmetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
The math.
When you said that, my brain pictured like an orangutan. And so even as I was saying arithmetic, I was thinking of monkeys, which is kind of cool. I don't hear that word much often.
Speaking of monkeys, we picked Forrest Gump.
What the hell?
The joke was that they have literally nothing to do with one another, other than I guess Forrest Gump
Oh, I
being.
thought you were saying because he's mentally disabled.
No,
No.
you know, and I realized that after the fact, it was supposed to be different. But what are we gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? So you picked Forrest Gump, dude.
It was a tough one because I have a culturally shifting movie that changed a lot of my childhood and my likes and interests, which is not that movie. But Forrest Gump was a movie that my dad, every time we got together, because we were divorced, he was divorced, so like I didn't see him every day. He was kind of like a weekender.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal at Forrest Gump impressions, amongst other impressions. So it was constantly just general conversation. He'd throw, I can't do it, but he'd throw in, I remember my first pair of shoes, something like that, just like randomly.
I'm not a smart man.
I get a new pair of shoes and he would go into this bit. And,
Probably one of the most quoted movies of all time.
I would say so.
I believe that Forrest Gump is not like but definitely a perfect movie. As far as like the story goes, it covers all of the bases very well, right? It's funny as shit. It's heartwarming. It's sad.
Got the war scenes.
It's exciting, and it also has the acting is like unfucking believable.
Yeah,
Tom Hanks is perfect.
You watch it behind the scenes of them going in and out of character is just like really fucking cool.
Yeah, I've never watched that. I've never watched any. Have you watched any Forrest Gump deleted scenes, Tony?
No, ma'am.
Also, it's you know what song it reminds. If there's like a song, this has popped in my head. It's probably not a good take, but Tony, what's that song? American Pie. How that's just
John
such a story. When I was thinking about you were describing Forrest Gump, it's a very American Pie movie. Is that my mind?
That's the
American
song.
Pie?
Yes, because it covers all the 1960s and people dying and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's very like it makes you feel something, and it
condenses the sort of history of the 1960s and 1970s and like the culture and the hippie movement and Vietnam and all this stuff into the story of this one guy's life, which is really impressive, I think.
American Pie, when I hear it, I grew up on the Madonna version, and so it was a while before I realized that was a cover. It makes me think about how worthless my life is and how I'm not accomplishing anything. You know what I mean? Like when you hear a song and people are just living their best life and feeling all these things, and I'm like,
dude, I was watching this documentary last night called The Godfathers of Hardcore. It's
hardcore music?
Yeah, it's a documentary about the band Agnostic Front. Have you ever heard of this band?
Yes.
From like the Lower East Side of New York in 1980s or whatever. They say they invented hardcore or whatever. And that's the whole vibe that they're on. These two guys, they're like, most people wait till they're 65 to fucking retire, and they work their whole, I've been living my best life this whole fucking time. And I'm just like, all right, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm living a pretty good version.
Yeah, better than I deserve.
Yeah. I mean, shit, dude. I go to work. I do shit that I don't want to do some days, but so
I love every moment.
Yeah, we can tell. You seem like you're loving today pretty good.
I am.
Okay.
I got my new haircut. I'm a whole new guy.
I was just thinking.
It took some years off your face. I feel like
you do look younger, more. It's edgy.
Yeah.
But I want to get a picture of you to take to Teresa so we can.
Can Teresa fade? Can she do fades?
She can do a pretty decent haircut. Yeah. She gets my haircut sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, like clipper. Can she? Is she clippers or is she scissors?
I just think no. I just so we can talk about you later.
Okay.
We were watching The Wire last night, and she said you kind of look like McNulty.
Oh, that's what's up.
I was like, damn, dude.
One of my idols.
Yeah, I know, right? I can't believe that she would pay you such a compliment. I can't remember the last time I received one from her like that.
I'm sure she's thinking it.
Yeah.
Thought that counts.
So we're gonna do. Well, I guess we'll just like go through the movie.
I'm not gonna go too slow about it.
Yeah. But as things pop up that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
I did not watch it ahead of this.
What the hell?
But I've seen it.
Jesus,
and
dude.
I kind of like that I'm making an excuse, but I kind of like that it's raw, and I'm really eager because I know Tony watched it.
I watched it.
You watched it too?
That's one of the best parts of this fucking podcast is that I'm being forced to watch movies that I otherwise will find reasons not to.
Right, you're like, there's something else to watch. I kind of want
to. So every week I'm like getting to watch this new fun movie or whatever.
It's so good.
Or something I haven't watched in years. Forrest Gump. I mean, literally could quote the whole thing.
I love you, Jenny.
Yeah. The whole movie.
He does say that.
That's where I think she's getting on the bus or something, right? And she's leaving.
Yeah. I may not be a smart man,
but I know what
love is.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Why don't you love me, Jenny?
She does.
Did he ever get laid?
Yeah, dude, he has a son.
Oh, he had that one. No, that
has
is
a
his son.
son
You're
at
right.
the end of the
From the
movie.
night that she like left in the middle of the night or whatever, they had that one night at her parents' house or his mom's house or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
He loses his virginity.
Yeah.
So how did you lose your virginity? What was his name?
I have so many versions of this story. I was 14 years
Maybe,
old.
how about the truth?
She was a senior. I was a freshman.
Like a senior
Statutory
citizen?
rape.
Senior citizen?
Senior in high school. She was an absolute bipolar, alcoholic, drank. Like one night we were drinking Goldschlager before like school.
Nice.
She got arrested a few times for driving unsuspended. Me and my friends tried to bail her out from jail for that driving unsuspended.
She's got to give you some pussy after
And
that.
my friend's car's Crown Vic blew up at a gas station, which is inconvenient. No, it was terrible. It was one of those things where I had no experience and no knowledge of, I had no preparation for it. But as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, it was my destiny.
Yeah.
And thinking back to, I don't know how much you want to know, but thinking back to, in my mind, I was like, I can't lose my virginity to her. I'm in love with this girl.
Yeah.
So the beginning was...
And it's a precious, sacred gift.
It's a precious, sacred gift. And we were waiting for it because the girl that I was in love with was also a virgin at like 16 or 17.
And you were trying to save your load for her.
Yeah, I was getting...
Your first one.
I was getting betrayed, little did I know. But the first couple times we'd hang out and attempted to hook up, it was like a lot of rubbing.
Yeah, just a tip, just for a second. Just
Basically,
see how it
yeah.
feels. Yeah.
It was bad. So that was my virginity. I imagine most guys.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a?
I lied and said that I was not a virgin for like 2 years just because I was so embarrassed about it. And then when I was 19, my good friend Peter
Took your
basically
virginity?
no
Shout out, Peter.
arranged for me to sleep with a rather overweight girl who had just gotten out of rehab. And so prior to us, he had to set it up. Basically, he was like, "Yo, she said that she will fuck you. Will you do it?" And I was like,
That's such a high school. Was that high school?
I was 19.
19, but still in high school?
No, I think I was a freshman in college. It's so embarrassing, but
It was an
his-
arranged marriage.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend's friend. And so prior to us hooking up, she's like searching. We're at her grandparents' house, and she was like going through their medicine cabinet looking for painkillers. And there was no booze in the house except a bottle of vermouth. So I drank an entire bottle of vermouth, which is like a thing that you.
That's
you put like
that's a delicacy, right? It's like added in small
it's a
portions. to
tiny.
drinks.
You put a tiny splash of
drink
it
a
in
bottle?
martinis, and I just chugged it to the face. And then we made love, and
Dry vermouth.
I faked an orgasm.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I didn't complete
Bust?
for many times. Like
You get too
wasn't
nervous.
Well, you know what? This is weird. So my first experience was New Year's Eve, 1997 to 98. I was 14 years old, and I was living in San Francisco, and I was with a girl. I was actually with a girl that I liked,
Okay.
but she didn't like
Your
me.
life is just charmed.
Her friend
Joined.
took notice of me. So me and her friend.
So you were there with this one girl, but
Yeah.
she was in. Okay.
And so I didn't even get the girl that I wanted, that I had liked, that I had actually known because I visited California for summers for years, and I'd known this girl and had a crush on her all this time. And then her friend was way more promiscuous, and we were drinking.
Yeah.
And we were in Golden Gate Park and on a bench. It was the first time I ever.
At night, obviously the crust of 97 and a 98.
Yeah. And so.
Did you bust right at midnight?
No, so
10, 9.
no, but so
8.
we have sex, and I'm thinking, from what I know about sex, that it's going to be a very short-lived thing. But I've been drinking a lot,
Yeah.
and I don't
stamina.
I don't finish on the bench, and then we continue later on at a party that we just kind of like walked in on, and I think maybe later that night. But yeah, I had a very similar experience. I did not finish, but it was due to heavy drinking.
At what point, this could be current or past, at what point when you know you're not going to get to where you need to go, to the finish line, to the promised land, at what point do you throw in the towel?
No, you don't need a towel if you're not going to.
Well, now that I'm not drinking, I actually don't. I kind of, sometimes.
You're pretty consistent.
Yeah, and sometimes I, could use some of those medicines I read about that help you stay longer, but it is what it is.
I was just
Mandalay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really.
Just me then.
I'll keep trying if I take a break.
I
Sometimes
did
come
have a
back.
move when
Second
I was.
wind.
I had a move. There was a period where when I was partying and younger, but I was still kind of going a little sooner than I wanted.
Yeah.
So I would fake a leg cramp or some type of cramp and go bust like in the corner or down.
And you'd go back for round 2.
In the corner?
Yeah, or just down, be like, cramp, and just go in my hand and like rub it on the side of the bed or something and totally
Rub
play
it into the
off.
carpet?
Yeah, just
Put it in
totally
her
play
hair.
it off.
That's insane.
But I was young enough to where I could get back in the game.
I have a
Round
theory.
2, round robin.
I have a theory that I think that when it comes to just sex,
Never going to talk about this movie.
when it comes to just, I don't want to go too far into the roles of men and women, but I think when it comes to sex, there's a lot of pressure on men to do like fucking, think about like all the societal, like I've often would like, I just think we don't talk about that enough. There's times where, like, I've got to, you know what I mean? Like, as an early, growing up and in the 20s and like having sex and whatever. Like, I look back at that time and I was so fucking,
20s?
I was so fucking
His
anxious.
20s.
My 20s, 1920s. Maybe it's just me, but I'm like in my head, I'm
the 2020s.
constantly evaluating the situation, listening for sounds,
Yeah.
analyzing
Yeah.
my hip movement because there's different angles that you can, as you know. There's different times you can move your hip. How is she
I'm aware.
responding to the current pace? Should I go faster? Maybe I go faster. The sound lowers, which you know about sound, Tony. And then maybe I go slower.
Sound is Tony's thing.
I just, I just wanted to get that out there because get it off my chest that I'm stressed about it sometimes.
It's true, and
I'm
it makes it
clocked
hard
in.
to enjoy because you're thinking you're in your head about it. And
Now-
so the thing that would work for that for me was booze. I get drunk, then I don't give a damn. I'm in there like a wild man.
That was one of my number one concerns about sobriety was how I was going to handle and perform.
Oh my God. The level of anxiety the first time you have sex in sobriety is
Insane.
because I'm sure you have experiences of maybe good time, whatever your brain's telling you about the previous sex.
Yeah.
And you're probably saying, I was pretty good in bed, but now I'm so fucking anxious.
Well, now I'll say I'm blessed with, there's not a lot of available time for the activity. So finishing quickly is encouraged.
You're in the best possible
I'm in the
position.
zone, bro. I'm in the zone.
She's like, oh my God, that was 2 minutes. Like I did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Because of the time constraints.
Once the kids get older, I'm going to have to get back into high performance mode.
Ain't nobody got time for all that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I may have, just so you know, I may have to take this shirt off at some point. I don't know if there's going to be a
No.
problem with that. I'm sweating.
It's getting warm. in here.
I'm nervous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From what, dude?
I don't know. I don't
Even
know
just
what's
the
coming out of
talking
my,
about sex just makes me get sweaty
There's
and
a lot of
hard.
testosterone in this room, dude. Flying.
let's all talk.
around.
Never mind. Go ahead.
So Forrest Gump is
Forrest
on a
Gump.
bench. A feather floats down by his foot.
He's in Savannah, Georgia.
A beautiful black woman is seated next to him on the bus bench. He starts harassing her. Do we think Forrest is trying to go home with this chick?
She's dressed as a nurse, and she's not really about his antics.
She's just trying to get to work, and Forrest is like,
Yeah,
would
right?
you like a chocolate? And also, he says, you never know what you're going to get. Most chocolate boxes, they have a thing that says this one has nougat in it or whatever. But maybe Forrest is illiterate. We don't know.
Or maybe that's a new thing.
He's talking with his mouth
Maybe
full.
before that, Russell Stover. He is, too. He is very offensive.
I relate to him so much. I feel like I think I'm way cooler and smarter than I am.
Do you
and
think
then-
he thought he was cool?
I think he's trying to rizz up this lady. But then we find out he's going to see Jenny. So probably
and
not.
he loves Jenny.
Yeah. I love you. So, but anyway, we see the first flashback is him getting his magic shoes put on. The doctor's smoking a cig. Sick. But
Yeah, bus driver smoking a cig, doctor smoking a cig.
We were
dude.
a civilization that was
Way better.
unified. There's some sense of togetherness,
Yeah.
and even I was thinking about the non-smoking and smoking. Did you grow up? How old are you, Tony?
33.
Okay, so you grew up in the 90s where you had a decision to make if you wanted to. Somehow the barrier of the restaurant, which was completely open, separated
They smelled so good even when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
Burger King, dude, had.
The smoking section with the smell of hash browns and cigarettes, I was like, that smells
When
so
I was
good,
growing
dude.
up, West Shore Mall you could smoke in the promenade, so in the walkways, and there were giant, massive ashtrays. And I remember as a young, in like early teens, going to, because I lived over by West Shore Mall, I would go and I would grab those cigarette butts, and me and my friends would collect them. And
Which is
smoke them
okay.
on the roof.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Do you?
No, that's all right.
Well, sometimes we would, if we could get a pack of rolling papers too, we would empty all the tobacco and then roll them up. Yeah.
I've seen various homeless people that I've worked with doing that.
Yeah.
Forrest is named after the founder of the KKK.
Nathan Bedford Forrest.
What is his mom's explanation for this? Is she's like, well, sometimes people, I named you that to show you that people sometimes do things that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to name my kid Adolf Hitler just to fucking prove a point.
I don't know how long I want to chase that rabbit, but that is interesting.
I don't think his mom is racist. She seems like she teaches him good values.
Well, as racist as any person from Alabama in 1950.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, you made an observation about Alabama in an early episode of this show about people's family pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Forrest is just basically your average person from Alabama?
Well, it depends on how many Alabama listeners you think we have. I just noticed. Yeah. Well, apparently we have some in Uruguay. I don't know. It seems weird, but
that's a bot.
I'm down with that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, is it like a joke about that? That him being from Alabama and all that. I mean, it's a book, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is that it's a book that it apparently was hard to get. The movie is the movie that should have never been made because it was so difficult to get someone to pick up the screenwriting. It changed hands a bunch before it actually went into production.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about the pre-production for Forrest Gump. That's funny.
It was written by Eric Roth, who's been nominated 6 times for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay. He also made The Insider, Munich, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, A Star is Born, and Dune.
Dune 1 or 2.
The recent Dune. I don't think he did 2.
Both.
The recent one would be the second
first part of Dune.
The first part of Dune.
Yes.
Great movie. I'm not
He's
even
got a fucking great record. All those movies are incredible.
Yeah, they are. Jesus Christ.
Which is why I picked Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Because of Eric Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eli Roth.
But we find out that his IQ is 75. Zachary, what is your IQ?
I don't know. I did.
Below 80?
I am listening to. I don't know what a good number is.
100 is the best score.
No, you can go. There's a book called Outliers, and I don't know what the point of the book was because it was recommended to me for a topic that's so far in the book, which I'm halfway unrelated to what's being talked about. So I'm still trying to find. I was like, hey, do you have any business advice about like work stuff? I don't know. And he's like, yeah, Outliers, and Outliers is completely. But one chapter it talks about how IQ is important up to a certain point, and that the rest of it is unique experiences, creativity, things that you can't test with an IQ test. So as far as I'm concerned, IQ is irrelevant.
I agree.
It matters somewhat. It's a good predictor of economic success.
Well, I think I have a pretty average to above average IQ and struggle with economic success. So
what if we did an IQ? What kind of questions do they ask on an IQ test?
And I have a friend who who is like doesn't seem that smart, kind of like Asperger's-y. And he's making
Asperger's people are very intelligent.
Is Asperger's the same as autism?
No, not anymore. It used to be.
Okay.
Or no, actually, Asperger's was a separate thing, and then they integrated it into autism, which makes no sense because people with Asperger's are like high functioning, very intelligent. They're just bad at socializing. And then the autism spectrum, you have people who are like
it's different, right?
Nonverbal, 180 pound, 12-year-old like concussing his mom all day because she doesn't get the chicken nuggets
people that
right.
are like super financially successful. And to be clear, I don't struggle with money. I just being like successful, like some of my friends. What I notice is that it's more about like being able to like zero in on something and like clear all the clutter out of your
focus,
their willingness to work all the fucking time, or at least at weird times. Like you can't call me on a Sunday morning and expect me. It takes a really serious amount of money to get me, to work at certain times because I choose my.
So Asperger's people will work on Sunday. You work on Sunday?
Well, no, I mean that's kind of.
You're just talking about people's ability to get money.
Yeah, and so the Asperger's sort of person I'm thinking of just looks at things in a very black and white way. Like he doesn't waste time with grayness like I do and like uncertainty. And I think of that as kind of like a very like almost autistic spectrum-y thing where it's just like, like
You're not concerned with nuances
at all. And the way that they'll explain things to me that like when we go out to a restaurant, they'll be like, well, they'll say like, I think the time that it took, I'm going to give that a C-. The food I think is more like a B+, but the service is an A+. So we're going to average that out at a B.
Okay.
He'll literally say that to me, right? And to me, that's kind of like a spectrum-y way to behave.
When you tip, do you start, say you're at a restaurant, how do you decide? Are you like, I'm giving 20% unless it's like, they bring a gun and shoot my family? Or are you like, I'm going to start at 20% and decline? Do you start at 10% and go? Like, what's your spectrum for assessing the tip?
Yeah,
or is it just...
I put $5 bills on the table. I say, every time you mess up, I'm taking one of these away.
I felt like I worked in the service industry for a decade probably. And I always felt like people know what they're going to tip before they leave the house. And, to any extreme in any direction. Yeah. So I just needed to make sure people got what they wanted. I kind of stayed out of the way and I always averaged 20%. And when I tip, it's the same. Like it's 20%. It's easy math to do, right? 20% is easy math to do. And also like you kind of have to gross me out or ignore me really bad. And even then, sometimes I still tip too much just because I need people to like me.
Do you think that it's appropriate to, I came from service industry as well, and I'm wondering if you think it's, as a fellow servicier, do you think it's a hot take or an L take, shall we say, for the restaurant to simply pay a fair wage and then have the option to tip without the expectation to tip?
Yeah,
the European model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the original model. So after I've gotten out of the service industry, and I'm not anti-tipping, but it is a fucked up thing.
When you're in there, you're like, I was in there, I was like, you better fucking tip me that dollar or whatever restaurant. 'Cause sometimes it was fast casual. Sometimes.
But how did the American Restaurant Association or whoever, where did this fucking thing start? Where basically half of the employees at a restaurant keeps is paid by their patrons.
Yeah.
Like you have kitchen staff and front of house staff, and you have to pay your front of house staff $0.
And they will argue and say, well, that's how one group will say that's how we hold them accountable because the money that they have ensures that they provide good service. But every other industry, it holds their employees accountable without the means. What if plumbing was like, hey, we're going to give you 10 an hour, but the homeowner is expected to tip 30%? That's the only way we can ensure you do a good job. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, so as a plumber, I'm actually commissioned. So but serving, I don't know.
But they don't just give you more money if they feel like it.
No, but the thing is like, I don't know, people might get offended by this, but like to be a commissioned plumber, you really have to know what the fuck you're doing. You have to spend thousands of dollars on tools. You have to, you earn the right to be a commissioned plumber. If I just like go to Applebee's right now and I'm like, hey, can I wait tables here? They're probably gonna be like, sure, no one else wants to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the bar of entry is so low that the fact that it's a commission position.
And commission is always, I'm in construction and I'm commissioned as well. And I think I've heard some people say, well, you try to tell people that there's a problem that there's not. It's not like a mechanic shop. There might be things that they, from a standpoint, like a roof, they need, I want to upgrade them to solar attic fans, which would benefit them. Yes, there is a part of that goes into so it's like a kind of a thing of like, hey, like showing them the value of using a better system, not just
value's important.
Whatever.
Value's
you need
important.
more brake light fluid. What's the joke? Brake light. You need more water in your tires.
Brake light fluid.
Brake light fluid.
Yeah, sending your wife into the store to get some brake light fluid for you. All right, moving forward, we've made it about 4 minutes into Forrest Gump.
And the movie is 2.5 hours long.
Principal wants him to go to special school because he's below the 80 IQ cutoff.
I'm breaking a little bit.
The principal's sitting there with his crotch spread out toward Mrs. Gump. Disgusting.
Is there a Mr. Gump?
He says,
Mrs.
she
Gump?
says, he's on vacation. Is it possible that Forrest's parents were siblings and that's why he's the way that he is?
Yes, it's
Maybe.
possible.
Anyway, we then hear the principal loudly humping Forrest's mom. I saw this movie when I was a child, and I thought that all sex sounded this way. Zachary, what sort of noises do you make in the act of love?
I want to go back to the clocked in mentality, and I would say it varies because there's different types of. James, if you're in a 2-minute time frame, or maybe it's an aggressive session where both of you are feeling like slappy, and you want to just hit each other. Sometimes but I would say on average, you can refer back to the chapter on the clocked in mentality and my high level of stress to make sure. Once I've only had one girlfriend ever.
Yeah.
Who may or may not watch. I've never had sex with anybody else.
Respect.
And I will say that my mentality that I can't control is that once the other party has completed then I feel like I go from an employee of this establishment to an enjoyer.
Co-owner.
Co-owner. Right. So yeah.
You become partner of the firm.
Right. And so I typically am quiet and focused and dialed in, listening to every single thing. And then once I'm allowed to have fun,
check out,
then it's a much different story, I would say.
Okay. So he reads the room.
What about you?
Same. I think
you said you sing.
I think that depending on the situation, I think that a lot of the sounds I'd made, I'm a very
This is a great question.
Yeah. Very romantic lover. So a lot of sort
You're
of
saying like, I love you.
Well, I don't know about that phrase in particular, but more softer things. Yeah. Definitely like more intimate than,
How long have you guys been together?
Me and Tony?
No, me and you and your wife.
Shit, bro. 7 years now. Yeah.
I was thinking about the other day how, because I think I was talking to some newcomer or something, and he's in a relationship when he shouldn't be and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was in there. Yeah.
And, there's beginning's great. Sex is great. Sex is exciting. Anytime and then you get to a point where no matter what, in my opinion, no matter what someone looks like, no matter any of the things that maybe originally drew you to them, you have to have a connection to keep the sex alive. Like there has to be like post date, post big laughter, post experience. I'm the most attracted to my partner because we just shared something, whatever it was. And that I can relate to like turning more romantic as the years go on.
Yeah, because sometimes that's how it starts now. It'll start with some sort of like words of affirmation or just like a comment about how...
Checking the pit stains.
Yeah. About a comment about how, man, you look really, great.
You smell so good.
You smell good. Or,
I saw your plumbing
man, I've
video.
just been thinking about you or something. And then it just turns into, you know.
It's
like,
your plumbing reel was so funny.
I love the way you resealed that commode. I don't know what plumbing is.
I love the way our faucets run now. Everyone takes the plumber's jokes to the toilet. It's always about the shitter with you guys, man.
That's the only thing that I use as plumbing.
No, it's not.
I don't use the sink, dude. I have
bro.
bottles of spring water that I pour into a bowl.
Speaking of plumbing, how you were on the road a lot you're on the road
Get
a
on
lot
that
now with
mic.
plumbing.
Yes, I drive a lot.
Are you someone who pees in the car?
Love it.
In motion, no.
Ugh.
You've never done a highway pee?
Oh yeah,
White Mouse Gatorade bottle, like the 32 ounce. I can fill that up twice.
Yeah, no, but as a plumber, and most plumbers will tell you, peeing in a bottle in the back of your van is standard practice.
It's standard practice.
Yeah,
as is with roofing.
Well, and a lot of these guys, see, I have at least a 5-gallon bucket that all of the bottles go into. Some of these guys, you go into a guy's van to grab a tool, and there'll be just bottles. Little like Zephyr Hills or whatever, water bottles.
You got to clear those out.
Yeah, each time you just go out like you
There's
just
some
drink
plumbers that just go into the bucket too.
Oh, that's bold.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
I don't like that move.
When I was landscaping, I would pee in a bottle in the back of the truck while it was jostling around. So sometimes get piss all over my pants.
I don't know why I feel so like there's something about asking the homeowner that I'm working with to use I will strategically put myself in positions to be able to ask them.
Yeah.
But I'm outside of homeowners' homes constantly, but I don't think they understand how often I go. If I ask someone once, I would go there every 30 minutes to pee.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a level of inconvenience, but I respect it.
I'll be working in people's bathrooms and have to go.
And you'll put will you go back in the truck?
Yeah, I sometimes like if they're not there.
It's
kind
of weird. Yeah.
But yeah, I totally, I don't know if I'd put that together so like succinctly before, but if I ask them once, it's going to open the, floodgates, pun intended. And then I'm just going to be pissing in their toilet every 15 minutes because I do have to go a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just go out to the van, and then sometimes the idea that I have to walk out of the van makes me forget about it, and then I just push it off or whatever. But yeah,
it's something we struggle with that I don't think it gets enough attention.
Male urination.
hey, we just don't talk about it.
Blue
enough.
blue collar. Are we blue? Is this blue collar?
Well, you know, it's funny. Theo Vaughn jokes about this all the time, and I think about this too. Is there's like this modern obsession with hydration that wasn't really around when I was a kid. It wasn't like, how much water are you drinking?
Yeah.
Which is
5 gallons a day, brother.
Yeah, which is fair. We should be staying hydrated, but this whole like everyone has a drink around them all the time. It used to be everyone had a liquor drink around them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but
the gallon jugs with they
every
sell
guy-
the covers for the gallon jugs. So you have, and then you got the Stanleys. Yeah.
yeah, dude. I have 3 children, and you know my wife too, and there must be 40 water bottles in my fucking house, bro. It's insane.
Blender bottles, shaker bottles.
The whole thing, dude. The whole
It's
thing.
ridiculous. We should quit drinking
And
water.
we are all peeing constantly. I get up minimum 4 times a night.
Yeah.
Bad news.
I like that though, because then when I go back to sleep, I have lucid dreams.
Yeah. The midnight, depending on the time frame, there's a certain window of time, I think, if you pee in the middle of the night where you have enough time left. I like to check the time, and I will get excited based on the time it is and analyzing how much sleep I have. If I have an hour left to sleep, I'm pissed. But if I go up at like 2 and I'm waking up at 7, I'm not going to bed on the right side of God.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm so excited I get to keep sleeping because I love sleeping so much.
Yeah, but if you wake up, you know, I'm getting up between 5 and 6 generally speaking. So if I wake up at 4 to pee, I'm angry.
Man,
yeah, of course.
The whole day's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why even go back to bed at this point? And then sometimes I, end up whatever.
We have Forrest inventing Elvis's hip thrusting dance move. Anything to say about that? It's pretty cool.
Because he has the knee shackles on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was.
I'll start moving around.
There's
to
a
that
couple.
music,
There's a couple
so I
things
get
in this
my
movie
hips.
where they connect some funny dots like that, and that's one of the better examples.
Yeah, is that Elvis is just imitating a disabled child on TV.
But you know, that famous Elvis dance kind of looks retarded, actually.
I went back and I watched that clip that they show on the TV. Those girls are going crazy for Elvis. Like, it was not an exaggeration. These chicks are sliding off their seats.
Well, that's how it was with the Beatles stuff too.
Oh God.
The
Sure.
Beatles,
He started it though.
when they were on the Ed Sullivan show
program.
and that was the whole thing. The women, losing their minds. So there's a sort of famous conversation. It's a deleted scene in Tarantino's Pulp Fiction.
Okay, I'm watching that tonight.
So yeah. So when Vincent Vega goes to pick up Mia Wallace, she shows up. She comes downstairs and she's got a video camera and she's recording him. And this whole scene takes place in black and white camcorder vision. Ended up getting cut out of the movie. But the question that she poses to him is there are 2 types of people in this world. Which one are you? There's Elvis people and there's Beatles people. You can love Elvis and you can love the Beatles, but nobody loves them both the same.
Cool rockabilly guy, pansy psychedelic guy.
I grew up and my grandfather.
Beautifully talented, wonderful, self-aware songwriter or
Cool pillhead.
culture thief.
There's only one right answer. The answer is Elvis.
Let's go.
I grew up, and this is not my fault.
Look at this room. Does this room look like a fucking Elvis room to you?
You want to be Elvis so bad.
Well, you know
dude.
what's funny? No, I am naturally Elvis. I want to be Lennon. Lennon was a huge Elvis fan.
What were you? You grew up with Elvis.
No, my grandfather. My grandparents were
Elvis.
huge Elvis fans, and in the late '90s, early 2000s, they would
Elvis.
remake when CDs were still around. There would be knockoff Elvis songs of popular radio, like Mambo No. 5, sang by Elvis or an Elvis impersonator. And I don't know if he believed this.
Fucking wonderful.
But
That's super campy.
he would regularly remind me that Elvis is still alive in the Sahara Desert and he's still producing music. That was the level of fan base that we had.
Incredible movie about Elvis still being alive with Bruce Campbell from
Bubba Hotep.
Evil Dead. Bubba Hotep, dude. That movie fucking rocks.
So I've
dude.
watched like documentaries. I've seen Jonathan Rhys Meyers. I don't know if you know that actor.
Yeah,
He's
of
got a
course.
cleft lip, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was in a really
Match
great Elvis like miniseries, and then obviously the newer one, which I didn't like.
You didn't like the Elvis movie with Austin Butler?
I like Austin Butler, total heartthrob. My girlfriend has a crush on him. I'm insecure about it.
It was not Baz Luhrmann's best film.
I didn't.
I didn't think. I didn't think.
Loved it.
I forget what my feedback was, but having seen the Jonathan Rhys Meyers version and the stories they told about that, I didn't. It seemed kind of cheesy to me. Yeah. The acting was fine. I enjoyed it. Wasn't Tom Hanks in it? He was the.
Yeah.
Who was the manager? Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yes. He played
I didn't.
the general.
I saw it with my
eagle.
mom and my grandmother, but I didn't. It didn't get a 6 out of 10, which is my minimum rating for appreciation.
My favorite scene was when the guy goes, "Elvis, don't you dare get up there and shake your hips around. That's illegal in this county." And then Elvis gets on stage and the song he sings, he just goes, "I'm evil."
That's the one where they're outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Singing,
good
singing
scene.
about being evil is fire, dude.
You ain't nothing but a...
I just don't think that this whole like dismissing the Beatles as pansies thing is gonna.
No,
fly
but Beatles
for
were
long.
cool, and they were obviously so
Boring.
influential, and they're and
There's
Outliers.
so many fucking bands.
The grind they had, and if you ever listen, Outliers, the book, they talked about the Beatles in it, and talking about the level of work that it takes to achieve that level of success. I think they were playing every night or
Yeah, dude.
6 nights a week in a small UK bar before anybody.
And there's this like
years.
super basic common commentary about how they were pop stars and all this bullshit about it. But if you ever watch, like if you watch the most recent documentary that came out, it was Peter Jackson found like 60 hours of fucking footage and
Get Back.
and remastered it, and it's fucking incredible. And you watch these 4 people get in a room and write songs together. It's unmatched. Like nobody's ever been that talented. They just, you watch some of the most famous songs ever written and ever performed being created, and it's a very impressive
Well,
process.
similar to the Big Book in the sense that when you read it now, you're looking at it from the lens of 2025. But when you look at Dr. Bob's,
Don't know what book you're talking about.
oh, sorry.
All right, well, we didn't have the conversation.
I'll say this. The Beatles,
From an outside perspective, that book is a very impressive book. It changed psychology. It changed treatment of alcoholism in a major way.
Similarly, the Beatles, when you look at, like, in my opinion, even though I don't really love the music, looking at them writing that kind of music at the time period was really influential because that kind of music, the rock and roll as they called it back then, was revolutionary.
I guess I just haven't gone through a Beatles phase the way that I have with a lot of other
Blackbird,
folks,
start with
and
that
I'll
song.
say that.
That's a great song. That was one of the first songs I ever learned how to play on the guitar.
I'll do that if you listen to Nebraska by Bruce Springsteen.
I need to
and try
listen to that.
appreciate him.
I want to
but-
listen to that. And it's funny. It's like I love Elvis. I don't like the Rolling Stones. I'm gonna say that. I just don't like them. I've tried and I just don't like it. I
L
don't-
take.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't like any old. I'm an emo rocker and hardcore. That's like my bread and butter.
We need to talk about the movie.
Okay.
That's the only reason we're here.
Forrest meets Jenny. He says she was my most special friend,
So-
my only friend.
Yeah.
The bus scene.
Peas
he gets,
and carrots.
He gets on the bus. Nobody lets him sit
Do you have any
down.
thoughts on peas and carrots? From an obviously physically fit guy who pays attention to what he eats, what do we think about peas and carrots?
Love carrots.
Yeah?
Honey ginger carrots. I like to make them. I ripped off the recipe from Fresh Kitchen. Peas, as I get older, become more and more delicious.
Can we tag the recipe below? Can we put it in the description?
Sure.
They don't make it anymore, so it's not
a.
I know the ingredients. It's like mint, ginger,
Oh,
cayenne,
the old
honey.
Fresh Kitchen ones.
Yeah, the old. They
That's
have a
right,
new
'cause
recipe.
You worked with Fresh Kitchen for
love
a
that
while.
time in my life. They have
Yeah,
a new
I
recipe
loved
that
that
is
time for
also great. But carrots, pea protein, very good protein source.
Right?
Yep, they make a
Even
lot of
so-
protein powders.
Sweet peas? Are we fucking with protein there, or are we thinking more like lentils for the protein?
Lentils are great. I don't go out of my way to eat peas, but if you gave me a bowl of peas, they have like onions in them, right? The little canned peas.
Yeah. The thing is I asked this in all seriousness, my kids love peas.
Yeah, they're kind of sweet. They have a good texture to them.
And you get the frozen bags of peas and carrots. I love that with some grilled chicken for lunch, dude. You know, I meal prep a lot, and peas and carrots have been making in the rotation. And I wonder about the macros.
Macros are decent. I think peas are white man's
sweet.
boba
Oh,
because you can eat them with a straw.
the caulk.
And when you boba is like
Imagining a glass of tea with peas floating in it is
no, when you suck down the
disgusting.
peas, it like pops in your mouth. They're fun to eat, just like boba.
Yeah, I guess. You eat peas with a straw?
you could.
Good God.
Good God Almighty.
All right, so
Forrest starts running. He runs away from some kids. They hit him with the rock, but more hurtfully, they call him the R word.
and you wouldn't believe this, but he runs like the wind blows.
Yeah, and
That was a good accent. That was good.
That's a good line.
his braces fall off. There's an incredibly funny scene of him as a high schooler same kids basically are bullying him, and he runs away. And there's Jenny's like, "Run, Forrest, run!" And there's this shot from far away of him vaulting over this fence, and he jumps really, really high.
It's super impressive.
Forrest has R-word strength. Throughout the movie, he's doing incredible physical feats.
It's where that term comes from, is Forrest Gump, I think, doesn't it?
Possibly, yeah.
You know?
But I don't know.
And he meets
I love
Jenny.
that he's like, I might get into this later, but it presents these two paths through life where Jenny's like, well, I'm smart and I want to be creative and all this stuff. And Forrest's like, I'm simple, man, and I'm just going to do what I'm told and play my part. And like, who has the better life, ultimately?
Yeah. So there's a comment that Forrest makes. It's funny the things you remember in this life, and because he doesn't remember being born.
Yeah.
And quick yes or no, Zach, do you remember being born?
No.
Okay, moving on. So
Move your phone.
he
It's picking
remembers
up on them.
he remembers meeting Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all this stuff happens, and then we get introduced to the actress that's gonna play Jenny, and this is Robin Wright.
Robin Wright.
Is it really Robin Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin
I
Wright
loved her in House of Cards.
for a while.
We were talking about would you rather.
Yeah, so the question is for this is, she is also Princess Buttercup in Princess Bride.
I'm not a big PB fan.
Okay, so
Loves
that answers
peas,
the
hates
question.
PB. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, Robin Wright, House of Cards.
The question is, who is more your cup of tea, Princess Buttercup or Jenny,
Okay, but so
or Claire
Jenny
Underwood?
or
I guess.
Claire Underwood from
Yeah, who are you going
House
for?
of Cards. Who would you marry?
So I really
Mentally troubled.
I really appreciate shows that just do things that are so obscene and that you're not expecting. And the biggest thing about House of Cards that realized I was watching a
House
fucked
of
up
Cards
show.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything came about, and the last season was without him, and it was dog water. But when they had the threesome with the bodyguard,
So sick.
I from a sexual standpoint, don't give a shit. But from the fact that they put that in that show, I was like, this is a show that I want to watch because it's going to give me shit that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That is just obscene. And I love fucked up government because I'm very anti-establishment at my core. So
Yeah, they have a threesome with Kevin Spacey's bodyguard, who's this big Meacham.
yeah, but they're very like
big guy.
every part of the show is they're very proper and very
But he's on the down low.
Did they explainably get rid of Kevin Spacey in the last season?
He
or did
died.
They just, he dies. Okay.
I'm a Kevin Spacey defender.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
I don't
he
have
did
a take,
anything wrong.
but in that show, as a viewer, it's like Kanye West, right? You're like, the old albums were so good, you want him to succeed, but he just keeps.
Yeah, I didn't follow the Spacey thing very much, to be honest.
He's just a
He was
perv.
being inappropriate with people, right?
He's just grabbing guys' butts. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love his defense when that came out. He was like, "Yes, it's true. I'm gay."
It sucks because he's a great actor. I don't know too much about the details other than I think they were underage, and he was milking what's it called, grooming.
Robbing the cradle.
He was grooming.
He
Yeah.
did some grooming. He seems like he was a horny fella, but yeah. Speaking of horny fellas, Jenny's dad
Jesus Christ.
seems like he has probably been touching on her. Forrest says that her dad's always hugging and kissing her and her sisters. He's a
God.
drinker.
God, make me a boat. So
Which is, I think, pretty. Would you think at the time that Forrest Gump came out, pretty progressive of them to include, at least illustrate that in that way?
To imply molestation?
Yeah, sexual harassment, whatever.
Sure.
Well,
Early '90s, wasn't it, when it came out? '93.
yeah, no, that's touched on. I mean, it's
1994?
maybe not in like mainstream. I got to do a bathroom break.
No, I'm having an obscene amount of caffeine right now, which is why I'm just.
Wow, you clapped and Zach got more naked. That's weird.
Spectacular. I wish that would happen.
I was sweating.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to strip.
I wish that would happen with women, but unfortunately.
Well, just to try more. Maybe.
So now Forrest and Jenny are in high school. He plays football. He's so good.
Oh, they just don't tackle him, right? They're just.
Yeah, because
He runs
like the wind
extremely
blows.
fast. This is the thing, is he's got this preternatural running ability. And this is
Preternatural.
it's a very funny bit to me of them giving him the ball and them going, "Run, you stupid son of a bitch!" And then they have to like go,
Tell him to
"Stop
stop."
running."
Yeah.
He knocks over part of the band. It's very good. But then he's in college, and we see him. This is the first of these kind of clips of him, like in the background of historical events. He's there during integration when the first black students are coming in, and we see that
She drops a book.
Forrest is a white ally. He helps out the lady. One of the black ladies drops her notebook.
And this was a sort of a breakthrough in effects too. That when they were superimposing
Him
Tom
in the
Hanks in these, and it's actually one of the Academy Awards of Forrest Gump won was for this
Yes.
effect that they were pulling off. Pretty cool. They go a little far with it with some of the presidential stuff.
Yeah, the presidents don't look
Talking.
realistic.
Yeah, and that like JFK's mouth moving in a
deep
weird
fake.
way. Yeah, which is way too early. But I mean, we're talking 1994. So we're talking 30 years ago. They were really kind of,
My grandmother, who grew up she was born in 38, so grew up, she was in her 20s. Her and my grandfather were in their 20s, starting their life, getting married young like they did back then. And I assume just by her being white in the time period that she and my grandfather were just innately racist.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I say, Graham, I laid it out and I was like, so, you and Pop obviously were racist. Oh, heavens no. No. Your grandfather was on the board to keep the blacks in their own school. We weren't racist. We were fighting to keep them apart. I said, Graham, that sounds like you're racist. And she went on to tell me the reasons why. And I was, but I think about that kind of
explaining
stuff.
why segregation is not racist.
The good thing.
Her reason was, and she's nowadays like she's
I'm interested in the argument. To be
nowadays.
honest.
Her explanation was that at the time, as she remembers it, the African American schools were much cleaner, and that they wanted to stay there. And so my grandfather was doing the right thing to keep them. I think that is probably incorrect because of the history books that we have and the access to knowledge. But it's funny because she's the nicest, sweetest. She is not your typical Southern woman that's like, she's very much, gives back to the community in that way. But it's funny as she remembers that. So my question to you, James, is is your family racist?
Damn.
Probably. Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna leave the specifics out of the published.
My grandma has dementia now, so she has no filter about anything, and she will.
There's some funny stories that got told by the grandparents when I was a kid that me and my sister, my generation will joke about. Like, you remember that time that so and so said such and such.
I think that here's my deep cut. Is it a deep cut, Tony?
Deep L take.
No, this may be a W take. Here's my B side. I think that just like a team, like you have your sports team, and even if another sports team is better or whatever, you grew up loving the UF Gators, and no matter what anybody tells you,
True.
You can respect the FSU, the Seminoles, but you're just a Gator fan, and I think that any people have their tribe, and I think that every race or ethnicity, no matter how much they respect and love one another, there's always this instinctual kind of like tribalism, right?
That is correct.
And then everybody,
I do agree with that.
Everybody innately has that, no matter how like I'm very much not downgrading any other ethnicity, but I think just innately I always think about if that's true or not on the psychological, on the instinctual level.
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you see little kids grouping by race when they eat at lunch and stuff. I don't know if that's all taught.
Well, you see it in incarceration too. It's very prevalent. That's man in his most primal form.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. If I went in there, I'd be cool with everybody.
I mean, well, they say the way to do that is to become known as a religious person.
Oh yeah.
If you're doing like a big chunk of time, they say if you want to avoid getting in fights, always carry a Bible around with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because there's like a few things in there that are just like universally respected. But
we see the governor George Wallace later getting shot, which is Forrest always makes a point to say that different people got assassinated or attempted assassinated.
A lot of famous assassinations, a lot of famous historical moments tied into this movie.
I didn't know this, that the anti-segregation governor was later shot, and I was like, oh, I wonder who did this, if it was like a radical, liberal or something like this. It's not. It was a crazy guy who had previously planned to shoot like JFK and different people like this, and
Couldn't get to him.
And the funniest detail from this article was that Bremer, the assassin, had planned to yell his carefully chosen catchphrase, "A penny for your thoughts," as he shot Wallace. However, in the heat of the assassination attempt, he forgot to do so. So he was planning to go, "A penny for your thoughts," blah, 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 blah. And then he forgot to do it. And I'm just imagining him like on the ground getting cuffed afterwards, being like, "Fuck, dude.
Should I say it now?
You're still screaming. Yeah, screaming.
A penny for your thoughts." Yeah, dude.
That's hilarious.
Forrest goes to Jenny's school and cock blocks her. Oh my God.
Dude, the sound effects while he's wailing on this guy are pretty hardcore. Sounds like he's doing some damage.
This is the first time we see Forrest beat a guy's ass for.
And the art,
was hurting
the R
you,
word
Jedi.
strength comes back into effect here.
For sure.
We're definitely, there's reason to be afraid of Forrest. Do not cross him. We're learning. Yeah.
But Jenny's like, I'm still trying to get some dick tonight. So she
mad at Forrest.
Yeah.
Jenny?
She's mad at Forrest to begin with, but then she brings him in. She's like, all right, I guess I'll let this guy get a crack at it. And so she shows Forrest her breastises.
Yeah.
We see some side boob. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
There's something about, tell me if you agree, nowadays, you have access to anything you want to see.
Yeah.
There's something about, even in
Concealing it a little
2025, I think the movie boob holds heavier weight than a boob you might see on other screens.
Yeah.
In other scenarios.
Like at the end of a Facebook reel with some highly unexpected, explicit advertisement.
Whatever. Yeah.
It's
I
insane
still,
what
as an adult male, I'm an adult. And if I see a side boob, I mean, I'm like,
yeah.
to my girlfriend, like, look at that boob.
You know a movie that understood this very well was The American Hustle.
I gotta rewatch that. I haven't seen that in so long.
That is side boobs are us.
Is it Jennifer Lawrence?
No. Well, a little bit, yes.
Oh, that's what the Christian
Amy
Bale?
Adams.
Oh,
Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, side boob, city, bro. It's great. And he totally understood the value of the side boob in that.
For instance, I'll give an example.
It's huge. It's very valuable.
Actually, that's all I have.
And Forrest busts in his pants.
Yes, we're talking about premature. We prematurely talked about premature ejaculation.
I don't think any of us admitted premature ejaculation. Did you admit premature?
It's happened to me one time.
What is a definition? I don't know. Maybe I've done it.
I think it's coming before you actually insert.
Oh, well, dear. Well, I thought premature was just
being short
or immediately
before you want.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh,
I maintain if I'm busting, it's the right time, no matter what.
Yeah, and I'm not down with it. One of my favorite stand up.
You're not down with it?
No, I'm not down with the whole like looking at coming early as a negative thing. Like there's this Dave Chappelle bit that I stand behind, and it's just we're having sex, man. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to.
That goes back to the pressure that I think there's a level of like that men have more. They have to have a resume, and there's certain qualifications they need to have.
There's an old Bernie Mac too. Did you ever see the Kings of Comedy? It was this famous stand-up like sort of movie or whatever, and it was Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, and D.L. Hughley maybe. I forget
Cedric
who
the Entertainer.
Cedric, I said him. So there's anyway. And Bernie Mac has a bit in there where he's like, not anymore. It's a race.
Okay.
We're racing.
Fair enough.
You got 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, and it's supposed to be a funny bit, but you know how stand-up is.
Is it true, this is not the case in my experience, but is it true that you can think about something else and prolong?
Yes.
What does your thought go to?
You know what it used to be? And I've stopped doing this. I would think about how much I hated my life and how depressed I was, and that I was like a secret alcoholic.
The funniest fucking thing that's ever been.
Like I would be like, oh shit, I'm gonna nut, and then I would be like, I'm such a failure.
I'll never actually meet a woman I love.
I'm fucking empty, and I'm hiding
I
myself.
actually hate this person I'm having sex
I would do that, and it would make it very unenjoyable.
The first image that came to my mind.
Now I do math in my head.
I imagine when you said that and started to go through that, the first thing that came to mind was you having a gun. You're having sex. You have a gun somewhere, and you're just putting it in your mouth to like. And as those thoughts are rushing down, you're eating a Glock, and then you're like, okay, now, and then you just not in the attempt to do it, but just in the attempt to delay.
Oddly enough, I will say the one fetish that I do have, girl pointing a gun at me while we're
Really?
doing that.
Loaded or unloaded?
Ideally loaded with
One
one in
in
the
the chamber,
which is
dude?
no one's
What
ever
the
been willing to do it with me.
I'd do it.
So there's the guy that wrote the novel Fight Club, Chuck Palahniuk or
gotta rewatch that.
Palahniuk, whatever. Well, I'm gonna look that up because I've struggled with that. There's another book of his called Beautiful Monsters,
Yeah.
and there's this whole like half a chapter describing why it's dangerous to roll a window in your car halfway down. And there's some very gratuitous, scenes described about accidents that have occurred with the windows half rolled down. And that imagery was like burned into my brain, and I've used that imagery.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and it like involves.
So that's again, you're picturing something horrible.
Yeah, like, and it's adolescence. It's like young children being like.
So you
harshly
picture children
decapitated.
during sex.
Sure. See, I was trying so hard to fucking.
I'll take.
That's a L.
Big L, bro. All right, moving on.
Have y'all? So we see that her roommate is there during this whole thing.
Yeah, and
Have you ever been guilty of that, where you're humping, there's someone else in the room, not counting, of course, your children?
yes, and I've also been
At
the
what-
third party.
I've asked him this as well.
At what age, Dad, because that's you can't get away from having sex with your children in the room if they're extremely young, infants.
Yeah.
Right. You have to keep that that part of your life alive. What's the age? I guess eventually they move out of the room. Is there a time when they're old enough, but not like when does that happen? When it's like we can't have the child in the room? How do you determine that?
Once they're talking,
Okay.
Once they start imitating the noises like Forrest Gump.
well, it would be determined too by the child. So, like, my daughter started communicating very early. Like, she, at the age that the boys are now, was already using words and describing things and very aware, and it was way too much, too aware at that point for anything like that to happen. The boys aren't quite there yet, but it's very close. And they're two. They're
I know
gonna be
nothing
two
about
soon.
parenthood, so it's probably obvious. It's probably a matter of you just taking the crib out of the room. I just don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, it's a decent question. I mean, it also depends on like how gross a person's willing to be, I guess. But I'm not, like today, Riley asked us, because I came in the room and, our wife was in the shower, and Riley's like, "Daddy, you can't come in here. Mommy's showering."
Respect.
And we were both like, "Well, mommies and daddies are allowed to see each
Were
other."
you going in the shower
Well, I was just going into the
or
bathroom.
the bathroom? Yeah.
Take a shit.
And then we, started to have that conversation, and then I vocally admitted that I was not prepared to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So we're very honest with our kids, but
My cat would always leave the room. She would go,
I've been accused of scratching the cat while during intercourse. Not
I'm pleasing two women at once.
not intentionally, but if my hand was kind of up in a certain position, like maybe I was on the bottom, and the cat would come in without even thinking about it, I would be and I've been caught. Are you scratching the fucking cat right now? I'm trying to, and my response would be,
You gotta focus on one
I
pussy
will
at a
say
time.
there's
dude.
nothing worse than being that roommate. Especially if your
hearing?
sex life is in shambles.
Yeah.
And like somebody is getting it on, and you're just like, they're just ignoring your presence. They know that you're there.
My friend Alberto, shouts out to Alberto, would do this to me constantly, dude.
Yeah.
They did this. There was like a fundraiser that they did every year for homeless people, where you would build cardboard structures on the football field, and you were supposed to be like, oh, we're sleeping outside for the night to raise money for the homeless, and people would build these like elaborate cardboard things or whatever. And he had sex with a girl while he was separated from me only by a cardboard wall.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't get out because they were blocking the exit. And I was
Oh,
just
my
laying there virginal.
That feels like a
upset.
flex, man. That feels like
He
a really
has problems.
mean. Yeah, that's
I love him
mean.
to death, but he was always flaunting his dirty
So
behavior.
where are we going from here after this scene?
He meets Kennedy and he drinks 15 Dr. Peppers.
He's got to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
Congratulations. How does it feel? Oh, because he's an all-star. He's an
Yeah.
all-American. All-American. And then he goes to war.
The bus driver
great.
tells him to get his faggoty ass on the bus.
There's a lot.
Crazy. But he's great at the military. Again, like Forrest's particular mental makeup makes him very well suited for a lot of the stuff he finds himself involved in.
So do we determine Asperger's because the lack of social skills but high output for other activities? Or
I think he just has a 75 IQ, which is different. That's autism spectrum isn't just like intellectual delay. It's a specific kind of thing. So I would just diagnose him as developmentally delayed. He has brain problems.
What is there any sort of like scientific or psychological explanation for excelling in other areas? Like
that's the thing that would suggest this other stuff. But
this will, or is this the intangible? Like there's
I think
no
it's
real,
that he's not overthinking
it's just
everything.
the spirit. Yeah, right.
Oh, you're good. We're just playing footsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he sees Jenny in Playboy magazine. I will note this is a PG-13 movie with boobs.
Yeah.
PG-13 has really gone downhill, in my opinion.
Speak on that.
If there's a movie with a good plot nowadays, and it's PG-13, I know going into it, it's going to be a less than superior movie because in my day, PG-13, you could do side boob. Mm-hmm. You could say a number of F word. You know, there's a lot more leniency with the PG-13 rating.
One fuck, which this movie does have.
I just think we could say other word. I don't know. I just think that good movies typically are nowadays because they can actually tell the whole story. And
It's got to be Lieutenant Dan drops the F, right?
The F? No, it's the Vietnam guy.
Oh, okay.
Vietnam guy.
We're about to get to that, actually.
Okay.
Well, okay, so we're on the bus. We're going to the war, and he meets his new best friend.
Yeah.
Bubba Gump.
He meets Bubba.
Bubba.
Have you ever had a black friend?
Yes.
Can you name them?
I have many. My first black friend, actually, my first two black friends were in kindergarten. God, one of
Did
them's
they graduate from kindergarten?
one of them's in jail and used to sell me cocaine as an adult. It's a long story, but
Sounds like you just told it.
he owes me, or I owe him money.
Oh,
And if he saw me today, he might hurt me.
but he's in jail.
Well, God, what? I can't think of his name.
You can send money to people in jail.
I was told not to make an amends in that scenario.
Because it's drug debt.
It was he had a friend, but we were buddies. And then I've had multiple black. My best friend now, I hope he watches this, is Israel and Daryl. We're in a group chat called Waves or Graves because Daryl has the most beautiful waves.
Oh, nice.
I also had cornrows at one time, and I think that
I remember the cornrows.
I don't know if that was good or bad for my relationship with my ethnic friends.
Comment on those cornrows publicly.
I love them.
That was. Do you remember the comment that I made that got tons of laughter? That was wonderful.
At men's?
Yeah, it was a big moment. That was a big moment.
You're
for me.
always good at. I always admire and respect your.
I poke at you a lot because I know you can take it.
It's easy, and I'm an easy target. I respect the attempt. I respect the pokes.
Yeah, exactly.
You
get to be.
If the
a part
joke is
of my
funny, I don't
moment.
care who's at expense. Like a funny
Exactly.
joke is a funny joke.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude.
My opinion.
All right.
Forrest goes to Vietnam.
Do you have
What would
any
your
black
nickname be in war?
Oh yeah.
Keen. I'm thinking about that. My kindergarten friend. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, yeah. Best friends. Can't even remember his name. Crazy.
Caffeine.
I'll find it. What's the question?
What would your
nickname be in war? There's a funny bit where all the people are not
Tex.
named after the place that they're actually from.
Yeah.
Tingle nip.
Okay. James?
Tingle nip? Is that what he said?
Yep.
My nickname would be. Come back to me, please.
Okay.
What would yours be?
Probably Tony. Short for Anthony. I don't know what mine would be.
Cordero McKinnon was the friend. My black friend's name in kindergarten was Cordero McKinnon, and
he's incarcerated now.
I think he might be out. He used to come down my house every time he got out of jail and just drive by and roll the window down and stare at me because I owed him like $300 from stealing from him.
My nickname would be Smokey.
There you go.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
I can see that. That's a good Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
One of the high schools that I went to in San Francisco, Thurgood Marshall, that was my nickname. And it did not help me.
Was it because you smoked Kush?
Yes, it's because I was constantly stinky like weed.
Yeah. Forrest saves a bunch of people's lives. The war scenes in this are genuinely so well shot and put together.
So there's a really cool note in the IMDb folder for this movie about how a lot of veterans really loved the authenticity of the Forrest Gump Vietnamese because they're not personified during battle. And that was the case most of the time. You were in a jungle and there was just bullets flying at you. You never saw the people. There was tons of battles in Vietnam where there was no human. You were just firing into a tree line and being fired at from, and then it would just end.
Yeah.
Like your friends would be blowing up or whatever, but you never would actually like see the people.
You never actually would get imprisoned in an underwater chamber and forced to play Russian roulette.
That was a very, thoroughly recorded and accurately portrayed thing.
Yeah, okay.
In the tier on there.
I'm thinking about each chapter that they go through, which the reason I picked this, I was trying to think of a deep reason because my backup was Fast and Furious, which was a really cultural. That's the movie that, like, if you talked about what really shaped my interest as an 11-year-old when it came out. But what I like about Forrest Gump and how it related to me was like the chapters, like we live so many different chapters in our life as drug addicts and alcoholics.
Yeah,
and
sure.
like each chapter could be its own movie. And what I was thinking about with the Vietnam, they actually invested time. I feel like they did it justice each time period in each era of Forrest's life.
They never really
allowed
phoned
it
it
to.
in.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a rush movie, hour and a half, we're in and out. They spent time and invested in each, which I appreciate.
That's true. They never really phone it in. They really kind of take
For sure.
everything very seriously. There's the soundtrack in the movie
Phenomenal.
is insane. The
budget
budget.
had to be very expensive.
So
I question now whether this movie made certain songs associated with different things, but it's like Vietnam, they dropped Fortunate Son, CCR. It's just like
which was huge. Yeah,
the most iconic Vietnam
and then
song.
while they're hiking, so in like a 15-minute run, there's 4 different Doors songs played. Did you? It's been a while since you watched this. So Soul Kitchen's played while they're
Yes.
What do you call it? Not hiking. It's not called hiking. It's called
Rucking,
or what is it?
Oh, that's when they go in they're in the forest.
Marching. Jesus Christ,
Marching, yeah.
They're just marching. It's pretty.
I was never a big 80s old school music, so I would not.
The Doors
from the 80s.
Aren't they old? They're an older band.
60s.
60s, yeah. So Jim Morrison died in 1972.
Thank God.
When I was in high school,
So not a Doors fan.
I
know he's not.
All the cool people in high school, the kids that were tryhards, it was Pink Floyd t-shirts, Doors t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
There's one more fucking band, and not ZZ Top, but they would
Zeppelin.
just Led Zeppelin, and it was just like, look at me, I'm wearing.
Which they
these
sold
things.
at Target.
Right, and so I don't know.
That's a new phenomenon. They didn't used to.
Not back then.
They did in the 90s.
You had to go to Hot Topic to get it, or Spencer's.
No.
Okay.
How old were you in the 90s, bro?
He's 30. You're
Young
33,
man.
so you're 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're too young.
Yeah.
I was born in 1990,
They
brother.
did not sell
No.
graphic tees because I
No.
had Jimi Hendrix. You would buy them at record stores.
You were cool if you had, like, it was cool to have those shirts, or like a band shirt.
And now graphic tees are that. Now my daughter and now sons have a Led Zeppelin shirt, have a Nirvana shirt, have all this like.
And they couldn't name 3 songs. Could they?
It's fucked up, dude. No.
So what's their deal?
Actually, my daughter could probably nail it.
Do you
if I was-
remember in the MySpace era,
I love the MySpace era.
people would, under music, people would put literally like 400 different emo bands? And I felt like it was like copied and pasted. It'd be like an alphabetical
But that
list
that
of
was
every
your
emo band.
That was your rite to passage. Is if you had an eclectic taste that wasn't too mainstream, but also, you could see the ones that were trying to just make up random. Like mine was like Brand New was one of my cool, like, I listen to Brand New because they were edgy, but still really good. Brand New's phenomenal. He's back. Speaking of Kevin Spacey, so Jesse Lacey,
Rhymes.
Jesse Lacey, Brand New. All these allegations came out about he was like sexually aggressive, and there might have been some minor
was
things.
grooming.
Yep. And at some point, people forgave him, and he's now attempting. They did a few shows, really good crowd response. I'm undecided publicly my thoughts on this, but huge Brand New fan.
Same.
Are you a My Chemical Romance fan?
Now as an adult, without the pressure of where they're stacked in the category of coolness.
Yeah.
Back then, I would not have acknowledged them.
Yeah.
They weren't underground enough.
Yeah. Same with Fall Out Boy. I went to the first Fall Out Boy tour they had.
Yeah.
Bring This to Your Grave. Was it Bring This to Your Grave?
Take This to Your
Take
Grave.
This to Your Grave. Phenomenal album, front to back, iconic. And then they got big with From Under the Cork
Under the
Tree,
Cork Tree.
and no longer cool. I wouldn't listen to their songs. But now, I fuck with them.
Yeah, I used to hate it when a band that I liked. I listened to the Black Keys before they got famous.
They're so good though.
And I got
They're so
I
good.
hated when they got famous. I was really mad about that. I still listen to them though, and I'm happy for them.
Tony, what is your guilty pleasure?
He loves
Your guilty pleasure band that is mainstream, makes you not cool, but secretly you listen to.
the Beatles.
Imagine Dragons, maybe.
Oh, that's a bad
I saw
one.
Imagine Dragons. I saw Imagine Dragons.
though. That's a fucking.
I saw Imagine Dragons and Macklemore live.
Those two together.
Did MGK open for them?
It was a free concert in Wildenburg Park in New Orleans, and I couldn't get anyone to go with me. And I took like an eighth of mushrooms, and it was just me and all these high school kids. I was like going crazy. High school girls trying to grind on me. I said,
That's
no,
probably
thanks.
the top. You couldn't say anything better than Macklemore and Imagine
songwriter
Dragons.
for Imagine Dragons.
Both of those acts, I'm like, this is an ironic thing that I'm going to go see this or whatever. And then I was like, this fucking rules, man. Macklemore's a great live performer. The guy from Imagine Dragons is like 50. He's fucking sprinting all over the stage, doing cartwheels and stuff, singing his heart out.
His shirt is also off, which I think is worth noting. Doesn't he sing with his shirt off?
A lot of the time, yeah, he's in great shape.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
that's probably, I mean, I will bump. There's a couple of different.
ID. We call him
Dragons.
ID.
Yeah, the id.
There's also, of course, Imagine Dragon these nuts across your face.
We're so immature.
I got a question. Forrest gets shot in the buttocks and he comes back to the United States.
Yes.
He's talking to President Johnson. President Johnson's like, "Where were you shot, son?" Weird question to begin with. And he says, "In the buttocks." And President Johnson goes, "I'd like to see that." Why does he say that?
Yeah.
And then Forrest bends over, shows him his ass, and Johnson goes, "God damn, son," and then walks away.
Yeah, as if to maybe go.
Jack off. Because Forrest was,
thought
because
we were gonna
Forrest's cheeks were so, he was caked up.
Yeah, firm and succulent seeming.
Mentally challenged
Love
people
butts.
often have fat butts. I don't know why, but they're frequently caked up.
Yeah.
I'm just
Is this
spinning. The
nature-
hamster wheels are going. And there's just so many different things that
All the omega
Is this
3s
nature?
went to their
Is this
butt.
nature leveling things out?
Maybe so, but
Like we're gonna
we don't get a super good peek at Forrest.
maybe
but
with a surplus of chromosomes comes a surplus of glute strength.
yeah, and I think they're walking around a lot, just like doing physical tests and shit. But
I'd like to introduce an idea that I think as the athletic one here with my grotesque shirt off. Big girl with a big butt. Great, nice.
Yeah.
I see a guy that's caked up, big juicy cheeks. I am likely more impressed.
for sure,
I'm definitely impressed by a good butt. My wife always. I look at everyone's butt. I'm a big butt.
I'm looking
watcher.
at yeah.
and a big guy with a big round firm ass is impressive.
It's impressive because I actively am trying to grow my glutes, and it is hard.
it is.
And
Yeah.
so I see guys
Which is
that-
odd because aren't they the biggest muscles on our body?
they're big, but to really whatever, it's hard to
You get
activate.
the shelf.
It's hard to activate.
I'm having the hardest time. Squats aren't doing it anymore.
I
I'm
got
not
some
feeling
programs to you. I got some programs for you.
I'm down with that.
You hit leg press. You put your legs up high. That's supposed to work.
Yeah, and apparently with the adductor machine, if you lean back while you're doing the
Lean back
in to-
helps.
in to out,
I've been warming
yeah.
up with the adductor machine my theory is like certain muscle groups that are hard for me to activate. My chest was the hardest. Like that's the one muscle group that is the hardest for me to work.
I have a hard time with that.
So I do for my glutes, I'll do adductors to warm up because if a muscle group that doesn't want to be targeted is already warm, the body will utilize it. Like it's easier to get that mind muscle connection. Same with my chest. I'll do pec deck first. My chest gets a pump, and then when I go do my bench or whatever else, I'm already warmed up, so it's easier for me to utilize that muscle over my arms and shoulders.
Very good.
You can follow, like, and subscribe my channel for free pro. I don't have anything.
Oh well, that's fucking.
Forrest is asked to speak at a peace rally, and he encounters Jenny. She runs through the reflecting pool, and then she introduces him to her nerd boyfriend, Wesley, who right off the bat goes, "Who's the baby killer?" That's not very polite.
No, we don't like Wesley.
And then he slaps Jenny. "Zachary, is it ever okay to hit a woman?"
I've never hit a woman.
Sweet.
So you don't take Sean Connery's stance.
I am okay with consensual aggression in the bedroom to be hit.
Slapping.
And sometimes I love my girlfriend so much. In my mind, I just want to knock her out of love. But no, I've never hit a girl. Can ever. I'll tell you a story briefly. I dated somebody. I was hit one night during an aggressive fight, like actually hit, like, and she was strong. I think if there was a moment that I was going to strike a woman, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So that was my Ritter test. Is that the
Yes.
right? Okay.
I've been in that situation, and what I took away from it was my reaction verbally and my energy was enough that I didn't have to take the physical action. So
you never do.
I was hit while I was driving, and I was like,
that's tough too.
And I just calmly but very sincerely was like,
I'm gonna crash this fucking car if you do it again.
no, I stopped the car and I was like, that is the last fucking time that ever happens. I promise you, that is the last.
I'm scared. I'm like kind of like,
and it was just like, I don't think that you need to. It's the same thing with a child. You don't need to hit a child. You need to look a child in the eyes and be very intentional.
It's so fun though.
About your tone and
Punching a baby in the stomach.
what the fuck? I don't think there's ever I can't think of a scenario where I'm closing my fist and just. I mean, I'm sure they exist. I'm sure if you look the internet.
So we jumped over an important part of the story. A famous aspect of Forrest Gump is that he is a famous ping pong player.
That happens next. Yes, he goes to China to play ping pong.
Ice cream
No,
too.
that doesn't happen next because
Yes, it does.
He gets hurt
kicked out
in
of the
Vietnam.
Black Panther Party. Yeah, he comes back. He
But he
sees
learned-
President Johnson
but he
shot in the
learned how
butt
to play.
dogs
He learned how to play ping pong.
in Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah, and God, we haven't talked about Lieutenant Dan at all.
Oh my
He
god.
meets Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan is a character where every one of his ancestors has died in war.
Yep.
And Forrest saves him,
And on
and
the
his
back,
legs are
and
disabled.
he's mad about the saving.
on the back of this character, Lieutenant Dan, the actor Gary Sinise has created an entire foundation, the Gary Sinise Foundation, that is funded by USO tours. That are the main attraction is a band called Lieutenant Dan Band. And they do all these They came to Savannah, Georgia one time when I was living there. And they do like, we're an American band and Sweet Home Alabama,
Great song.
all these covers. And Gary Sinise plays the drums.
Nice.
The real Garrison, the guy who played Lieutenant Dan.
Dude, he has built an entire...
In a wheelchair.
Yeah, with no legs and everything.
Does he actually have no legs in real life?
No, that was one of the reasons
Cut him
that...
off for the movie.
That was,
I didn't know if it was like.
that was one of the reasons that they won, because the way that they pulled that off is actually really impressive. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so this whole Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, and the
back.
Lieutenant Dan Band thing is very impressive to me.
cool.
He makes tons of donations to VAs. He makes a lot of money and has created this whole thing all off the back of this famous movie character.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, you got legs.
Which Forrest is about to encounter Lieutenant Dan for the first time post-Vietnam because he goes to China, plays ping pong, and then he goes on his TV show. He inspires John Lennon by talking about how China, they have no possessions, there's no religion. Which
And, that Dick Cavett, and they frame her out of it. But that Dick Cavett where John Lennon's dressed like that, Yoko Ono is actually on that episode. I've seen that. Yeah, and he's sitting on the other side of John Lennon, and they kind of frame her out, which was interesting. He looks over at her at one point, and if you know that scene, I've watched the whole thing on YouTube.
I had seen the original clip, which is interesting. It's coming to my mind, like because that's a real. It's obviously CGI'd in.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how at the time when you'd watch, forget Forrest Gump, that movie sucks.
Could never.
But when I was growing up and I'd watch old movies that had CGI, Beetlejuice original or whatever movie it was,
Yeah.
James and the Giant Peach. At the time when I'm watching it, I'm thinking, this looks real as shit. But as you get older, you're looking back, playing old video games or something. It's like just the way the mind. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But I was just thinking about some of the CGI back in the day where I'd probably watch Forrest Gump, which I should have prior to this, and probably be like, oh, this is terrible. But
Now,
at the time, it looked incredible.
well, no, I think he's saying in retrospect it looks better.
in retrospect, it looks dog shit.
Oh, I'm
saying at the
thinking
time.
that when I look at it from today's standards, I'll put it up against like a Marvel movie, and I'll be like, some fucking dork in a dark room made that Marvel movie.
Versus
But
they had to go
Forrest
through,
Gump,
yeah.
they had all these people doing all these great effects and all this, and there was this whole thing, but in the ping pong. He goes to China, and so for our analytics, we've noticed we have actually a lot of Chinese viewers. and I was hoping you could just repeat verbatim, okay? That General Xi Jinping,
In a Chinese accent?
No.
Oh, can you pop that for me?
all hail to General Xi Jinping, the General Secretary, and that Taiwan is not a state, and glory be to China.
Glory be to China.
China, this is your century. China, this is our century. Glory be to General Secretary Xi Jinping.
Into the
Please. Yeah.
This is your century. Glory be to Xi Jinping. Did I say it right?
That's perfect. Thank you, sir. All
My
right.
dad also does an amazing. My grandmother's Chinese.
Really? So you can do the accent now then if you want. Yeah.
My grandmother's Chinese, so she had really
anytime.
bad.
You're
Whenever
part
you're ready.
Chinese?
Yeah, it's small part.
What?
She was 100%.
Is your
And
penis
so-
Chinese?
She, I remember, I don't know her too well, but I remember she had really bad eyesight growing up, and it was always a constant discussion. And I must have been old enough to remember this, but when I visited, we went to the doctor, and she was in the doctor, and went to go visit her. And I remember the doctor came in, and she goes, Eleanor, which is her name, Eleanor Preston, you have cataracts, which was the issue she had with her eyes. And she said, oh no, I don't drive a cataract, I drive a Lincoln.
True story.
I knew something was coming. Oh, thank you so much for that reel. All right, so
I tried so hard.
there's a lot of famous assassinations referenced in this movie.
John Lennon
What's your favorite assassination?
of all time.
all
Doesn't have
time?
to be in the movie, yeah.
Doesn't have to be in the movie, but let's do a time frame though, because we don't want to be going back to like Julius Caesar here. So in modern American culture, we'll say from the 20th century, we'll even cut out Lincoln.
The one that I'm most intrigued about, or have been most intrigued about, if there was a pie chart of the times that I've thought about various assassinations,
That's exactly what we're.
I would say JFK.
Yeah, definitely
Just-
more of a culture around.
Like what?
More
And then
of
you
a-
learn more about the Cuban Missile Crisis and some of his things that he was spoken about. Number 2, MLK, I think, would be pretty big, just because I'm
Yeah.
curious about what I think the same with JFK. I'm curious about. I don't know. I'm pretty cynical with the government, so like I still think even if MLK would have been alive, he may have been continued to be influential. Knowing now how suppressed, like how much time it took for that to happen and for things to actually change. But it's always a thought.
What about you, Tony? Jeffrey Epstein.
My favorite assassination
Epstein.
gotta be Shinzo Abe,
Okay.
the Japanese prime minister, where the guy shot him with a homemade gun.
Ooh.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I like Kobe Bryant.
People close to President Trump have said that at times he'll be getting depressed about the state of things, and he'll just go, "I miss Shinzo."
Do you think Kobe Bryant was assassinated?
No, I was.
Okay.
Well, on talked on here before about my theory that Mac Miller was assassinated
Yes.
by the Clinton crime syndicate.
Yeah. There's a big Cobain assassination
Oh,
theory.
Chris. So Chris is my conspiracy theorist friend.
Yeah.
He is a conspiracy
come on
theorist about it. You should have a podcast just on him, going down rabbit holes of various conspiracy theories.
down
I
with
guarantee you it will not disappoint. And
Really?
I will oftentimes, when bored, stir up. I'll research some of the conspiracy theories,
Oh,
and then
nice.
just start throwing at me like, yeah, Building 7. There's no shot that dropped from debris.
Just let him go.
The Pentagon Treasury reports.
Right?
Which I'm kind of like in the
True.
middle. I'll like entertain it, but then there's always the radical ideas that support it. I'm like, that's too much.
I simply don't have the energy. Is all I think. I don't discount any of it because I don't put. I'm always referencing stand up, but one of the best stand up things about this I've seen is I can't even remember the performer, but he's like, "You really think the government isn't lying to you?" He's like, I don't, like to talk about politics because I don't know a lot about politics, but I do know that the government is in charge of millions of people, and I'm only in charge of one person, and I lie to that little motherfucker all the time. He actually uses the N-word, but it's a very funny joke, and it's very
That
true.
narrows down who the performer was.
Very, very true sentiment. Anyway, well, it's not a famous. I can't remember. So
They have girls over. He meets Lieutenant Dan. Great scene outside of the TV studio where Lieutenant Dan yells at Forrest and then goes sliding down the ramp in his wheelchair going, ah! And this is Forrest waits until he's just watching this happen. And then it's like 15 seconds later, he's like, Lieutenant Dan. Like he doesn't process what's happening. But then they have some sluts over for New Year's.
Yeah, big time sluts.
This was another scene I remember being horny about when I was a child. This movie has a lot of sexy stuff in it. You see the tits in the Playboy. Lieutenant Dan's going to town on this chick, but one of them calls Forrest stupid and he kicks the sluts out.
Yeah.
She tasted like cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah. But that line always stuck with me too.
I've never heard that line, and it's actually a good line.
Yeah, it's great.
Forrest witnesses Watergate, and then he buys a shrimp boat. Lieutenant Dan comes to be his co-captain.
That is my favorite scene. One of the favorite scenes is him
waving and then jumping
and then
off.
jump.
And then the boat comes by, and that was when I was a kid, my favorite Forrest Gump line was the "That's my boat." Yeah, I like that one. I mean, in middle school, that's how old I was, and it was like how Austin Powers or like Wayne's World became immediate.
We were talking a lot of Austin Powers in middle school because that was like I was at the age.
Yeah,
Borat.
Yeah, Borat. But Forrest Gump just made it into
So many conversations.
jokes. Yeah. Dude, it was just great. My magic shoes.
Have you ever eaten at a Bubba Gump shrimp company?
Nope. I had a friend working at one for a while, and the one that's in Times Square or whatever, but I've never been there. Have you?
No.
Have you been to a Bubble Gump?
I have.
Really? Which one?
A random touristy, probably Daytona.
Oh,
if I were to guess.
That's a pretty Daytona experience.
So my grandmother
I would be more down for the Daytona one
Yeah.
than I would be for the Times
like New York
Square.
City or some shit. Yeah.
People will eat there in New Orleans, which is a travesty.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty bad.
But yeah, their shrimp company goes crazy.
I'm sure tons of people go to the Bubble Gump in New Orleans thinking that they're doing something.
Yeah.
Probably foreigners,
Maybe.
I would guess.
Maybe so. I was curious about how it got started, and it was an entrepreneur bought the rights to the name from Paramount Pictures in an attempt to turn around a financially troubled seafood company, and it was a massive success. So apparently some of the food items there, they have like Forrest's Seafood Feast.
They sell Forrest Gump named. I didn't know that because I went as a kid.
And then
they
they have
sell
like
like a-
Jenny's pancakes or
Do
something.
they sell like a retard strong margarita?
Oh, that's a good idea.
One thing that's interesting, you may not know this, is that all of the employees have crutches, have knee stabilizers.
It's really. I did not know that.
They should have Lieutenant Dan's legless chicken.
They're chicken thighs. Lieutenant Dan's legs, and it's just a chicken thigh recipe.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast on menu puns for fucking.
There you go.
Dude.
But their shrimp company is extremely successful, and then Lieutenant Dan invests in Apple. They get crazy rich. Forrest
Oh my God,
donates-
there's so many different pieces of this movie that are just.
Yeah, there's
It's a brief little thing.
Yeah, it's historically inaccurate too, just to ruin that for everyone. The
man.
logo that's on the that logo wasn't in effect by that time in history.
Sure.
Yeah,
But Forrest, he
In '94? Oh, in the time that it's being represented. Okay.
that was a Macintosh logo that's on that.
Yeah.
in the Macintosh.
But Forrest, he is rich now, but he decides to just mow the lawn for free,
Yeah, cause I was a gazillion there.
and it was fun.
Yeah.
And
Lieutenant Dan called me and said, we don't got to worry about money no more. I said, well, that's good. One less thing.
Those are the lines I want to start. You ever watch a movie and it's like a English? Like I'm watching Black Mirror. A lot of those episodes are like European actors, and they'll just naturally say things, and I'm like, why don't I? There's so many phrases in the way they talk about the same things we talk about.
Yeah. They're much more entertaining
Yeah,
to talk to than
and it's that's one last thing.
Americans. So he's cutting the grass. He's doing it
Jenny
for free.
shows up.
Back in the mix. Looking good.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple scenes of her
Doing drugs.
not doing well.
You got mad because she said she wasted some cocaine.
She wasted some coke in the one scene where the Freebird. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean. You guys can keep going if you want. Yeah. But, we are going late. We're going late, but.
We're at 2 hours on the cam.
We'll chop it up.
So, no, we won't.
Okay.
No, this is great. I'm having a blast. So we Jenny's back. She's looking good. She's in the scene. Do you remember the scene where Freebird is playing and she's in a drug den or like a hotel, and there's a mirror on the table, and she puts her hand on it and just smudges all this coke like a whole 8-ball.
Which is inaccurate. If they would have consulted with any member of a number of recovery groups.
Yeah, you're putting all that in your face, and then
I think it's supposed to represent that she's like, oh, this coke, this is not going to make me happy.
Maybe.
I'm going to commit suicide.
I would usually say I will absolutely stop first. Let me finish this.
yeah,
And then I'll be done.
we'll talk in the morning.
We'll talk in the morning, and then tomorrow comes.
You don't really get to that point of misery while there's still that much cocaine to be done.
No.
That's like doesn't make any sense.
I would constantly. Tomorrow, here's my plan.
Yeah. Anyway, so but now we see her and she's looking as good as she's ever looked.
Yeah, and she's there to.
I can't believe that's Robin Wright. I gotta really go back and do my.
She's had some plastic surgery between now and then.
Sure.
And she doesn't stick around though.
No, she doesn't. Forrest asked her to marry him, then she humps him.
She does give him that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that scene well. That's one of the only scenes I remember.
Yeah.
When does he say, I may be stupid, but I know what love is?
I'm not a smart man.
Is that it?
That's immediately prior to the humping.
I'd like to know the exact phrasing because James.
He says,
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
he says, Jenny, why don't you love me?
I think the reason I think it's I'm not stupid or I may be stupid is because that's probably what my dad would. He probably remembered it wrong.
Yeah.
The influence of our parents.
Well, I just the meme. I use that meme. I'm not a smart man a lot. The GIF. Oh God, I'm so glad I remembered this. Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Okay. Is it God or Jod?
There's what did I say? Oh, we get to heaven. I'm at like a recovery group meeting.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about the terrible tragedy of their life, and I think I ended a share, and it's like, we don't know much. We might get to heaven, and this whole time, just so you know, it was Jod, not God. Oh, what if we get to heaven? I don't know what the fucking truth is.
You're at the pearly gates, and Peter's like, just so you know, when you get there to meet him, it's pronounced Jod. I fucking love that joke.
Dude, that's probably a meme that I saw and I think of the most random, like some of the analogies I come up with are so, I think I'm sick.
Yeah.
I think I'm sick. Sometimes they work.
Sick genius.
Ooh.
Sick. Every time someone says I'm sick, I think of the some kids skateboarding with skate shoes. Remember the soap shoes?
Heelys.
No, soaps. So when I was in middle school, you guys aren't cool enough. Me and my boy had a pair of shoes that the heel of the shoe, the bottom part of the shoe was a grind plate.
Oh yeah, I know about this.
Yeah. And so anytime I think of someone says, God, I'm so sick, I'm like, yeah, sick as fuck. In my head, sick as fuck. And I think of a middle
Jump
schooler.
onto a railing and grind down. So tight, dude. Yeah, Jenny fucks him and then she disappears in a cab. Classic woman stuff, dude.
She does. She goes to him, and even the cab's like, "Where are you running him from, bitch?" And she's
And
like,
this is a lot of people have made this observation, but Jenny treats him very
Terribly.
poorly.
I was just thinking, Tony, do you have any experience with toxic relationships?
A lot, yeah.
with women treating you like as such, and not even.
Well, I think a lot of the time I invited the treatment, and I would be drawn to women that were emotionally unavailable because
Do you think Forrest is?
I think Forrest has only loved one woman his entire life, and I wish that was the case for me. You know.
Yeah.
Both of my first loves that we talked about, the woman that took my virginity and the woman that I actually wanted to have a life with as a 14-year-old who knew everything he wanted. Both of them aggressively cheated on me. One of them I found out on Facebook, MySpace. I'm sorry. So,
damn. How'd you find out?
She posted a picture of her on his lap when my mother was supposed to pick her up for us to go to a movie together.
Oh, shattered.
Bro,
I have some stories about her. Not enough time in today to go through it, but she was a visionary.
Did you break up with her after that?
I called her aggressively on the landline, and she never picked up. We never spoke again.
Wow.
So that sucks. So she leaves. Forrest starts running. If there's one segment of the film I don't really like, it's the running stuff.
Why?
I don't like
It's fillery.
Yeah,
It's fillery.
It's fillery. I feel like we could, and I don't like so the whole time in the movie, these really cool things have been being connected to Forrest Gump. And in this segment, it's the shit happens bumper sticker and the smiley face t-shirt.
Joe, what's that called? Joe Boxer? What's the smiley face logo?
I don't know.
It's Joe Boxer, right?
Either way, it's stupid connection.
Yeah, they're just not things that are big cultural touchstones for me.
And it's like the face one's kind of funny because the guy looks at the shirt and it's obviously like a stenciled smiley face. It's really kind of ridiculous. And I feel like when they were editing that, they were like, that's just too funny not to put in or whatever.
I could have done without that part. That's usually the part where
thing that happens, and then I don't know. It does feel fillery too. I just was kind of like this last viewing. I was like, if I have one criticism, it does play well very soon when Forrest is talking about his experiences through life, and he's like the way that crystal, you were always there with me type thing, that the crystal clear lake, and the way that the sunrise looked when he was in the the most prophetic
that
thing.
That part got me.
Yeah, it's very, very heavy shit that he's saying, but and then so we find out why he's sitting in Savannah after that.
Because Jenny wrote him a letter.
Jenny wrote him a letter.
He goes. She reveals that
finds out.
He's got a baby boy.
Where he tells the address of the lady that's sitting next to him. It's Henry Street. I lived in Savannah, Georgia.
Jorna.
Lorna Doone. I lived on the corner of Lincoln and Henry.
Really?
Which is very close to that address.
Have you ever sat at the park bench?
Very fascinating, huh?
Have you ever sat at the park bench? Do you think you may have sat?
I walked past that park bench a million times. And Tony doesn't think this is fucking interesting, but I'm going to say it anyway. Traffic is going the wrong way in this movie. It's a very famous misstep, but it's because they wanted the door swinging towards the direction that he's facing and the direction that
it's a one-way street going the other way.
They're those squares are everywhere in Savannah, in downtown Savannah, and that's Chippewa Square, and the traffic's going the wrong way. So there you have it. It ended up on the podcast anyway, Tony.
Great.
He basically fucking forcefully told me not to mention that because it wasn't interesting, but it came up.
One less thing to worry about.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. One less thing.
One less thing.
Forrest goes to Jenny's apartment. He gives her the box of chocolates, and he goes, "I ate some." I love the theme of him loving sweets and candy and soda is very funny to me. Again, if you've ever worked with mentally challenged people, much like heroin addicts, they love their treats.
Yeah.
Drinking 15 Dr. Peppers because they're free.
When Jenny, the scene before she runs off on him, they were like watching fireworks together, and they're both drinking a soda pop. And he in the monologue voiceover says that it was the happiest time of his life. And she's drinking a 7-Up, he's drinking a Dr. Pepper. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, Jenny is like, "I'm sorry for everything I ever did to you. Here's your son, Haley Joel Osment." So cute. But it would appear that she was planning to just raise this child without Forrest, and then found out that she was ill.
Yes. And so she reached out.
She's a bad person, dude.
Or that he had a lot of money? Yeah. Is that ever a thought?
I think she already knew he had a lot of money when she ran off on him.
She's still waiting tables, yeah. But
she was just gonna raise Haley Joel Osment without this.
Tony said something great too, man, because I don't know if I was a little distracted at this part of the movie or something, wasn't paying attention, but there's a really emotional comment that Forrest makes where he asks, "Is the kid smart?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, is he and
that made me cry.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
the awareness that Forrest has, knowing that he's
and that he still thinks being dumb like him, even though he's like the best human ever born. He still thinks that he still feels shame.
What a
about
great
his
connection to guys to lacking gratitude and appreciating what you have.
For sure.
How there's always like you could have all these things and still be like it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's funny to imagine an alcoholic in that situation where it's like you find out you have a 15-year-old kid and the mom's like, "He's your son," and you're like, "Is he like me?" But yeah, he's
is he self-centered?
Yeah, Forrest is. She's like, "His name's Forrest," and he's like, "Wow." She's like, "He's named after his dad." And he goes, "His dad's named Forrest."
Yeah, just after asking that.
But yeah, that's a beautiful scene.
Super poignant question.
He goes and sits down by his son.
Hilariously stupid.
He's like, "You, what you watching on TV?" And he says, "Bert and Ernie." Which brings me to my question: are you more of a Ernie or a Bert?
I don't know the reference. I mean, I know Bert and Ernie, but I never watched it. The question is, for me in my time period was, am I SpongeBob or am I Patrick? Because that's what I grew up on, unfortunately. Do you know the reference, SpongeBob? Are you guys?
Of course, we love SpongeBob.
I'm not much of a SpongeBob person. Not that I don't like it. I just never really watched it.
What was your
Bert and Ernie.
childhood? Were you Bert and Ernie era?
No. What was my child? Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were very big.
Yeah, I was kind of the end of that. I was kind of like coming up as SpongeBob
There were
was.
some cartoons that Captain America. No, sorry, Captain Planet was one that I really liked.
Hey, you are old.
He was recycling.
I think the important question is, Tony, do you have any kids out there that you don't know about
Probably not, I would say.
because of infertility?
No, I just think I haven't. There's been relatively few people that I like slept with one time unprotected.
And you would have found out from the others because you were regularly. That makes sense.
Because
Possibly,
he
yeah.
won't let it go. He's constantly texting his ex and exes and
No,
stalking them on social media.
not true. I just have picture memories pop up of them a lot on my phone, and I look at them and
Try.
think about what would have been. Yeah, right, a little bit.
Like we all.
Reminisce on a better time.
No, I'm not just out here spraying and praying like that. I'm pretty careful about the
Great Call of Duty reference.
the old wrapper up thing.
So Jenny moves back with Forrest to
Yep.
Greenbow, Alabama.
Greenbow, Alabama.
She has one of the first cases of HIV, it would seem, because she dies in 1982. HIV started being a thing in 1981.
Died on a Tuesday.
How did she get HIV?
Does the boy have HIV?
It would.
Yeah, unless she had the kid and then was going and having fucking meth sex or whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
we don't. The boy's what, 3? How's the boy? Do we know?
He's a young man. I mean, it's been like 3 years.
Can the boy? Yeah. Does HIV get transmitted from the? It should.
Trying
Right?
to search
birth,
that up.
During birth, yeah. There's a blood transfusion. So there's a scene where they walk.
With proper medical care, the risk of transmission can be reduced to 1%.
Good to know.
Today, maybe not in 1981 or 2. So they're walking around Greenbow, Alabama, and they come up across Jenny's childhood home. And she has a fit, and she starts throwing all
This
these
is way
rocks.
earlier in the movie.
She has all these throwing all these rocks. This is before
This is
she
prior
leaves.
to her
Before she
taking off,
leaves, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a comment that Forrest makes in the voiceover during this that I think you could maybe relate to, because she's throwing rocks at this and she's crying and she hits the ground and Forrest goes, "Sometimes there's just not enough rocks." Have you ever been in a position where that was a?
Never enough rocks, dude.
I guess yeah. Has there ever been enough rocks? No.
I was thinking of the non-drug related, the more philosophical question, and I was really impressed. And then I realized that you're making fun of my drugs, the drugs that I like.
Yeah. Well, I love those drugs too.
You know,
But I immediately thought of,
I like the idea of cocaine better, but I was an oral guy. I have gum and Zyn in my mouth currently, and I'm drinking iced coffee.
this isn't motor oil.
No.
Oh, damn it!
And there's no ad.
I was so impressed.
There's no, I guess it is technically marketing, but it's a thermos.
I was super impressed. I was like, this guy's fucking hardcore.
One thing that, yeah, James, do you remember just the carpet surfing?
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I've got a great carpet surfing story.
You know what I often think
Smoking
about?
Asiago cheese crumbles.
Yeah, and you'd know instantly it the way it crisps, and then you're stuck with it. There was a time when I first started getting into heavier drugs, which I'm thankful for because I think it brought me to the rooms quicker. But where I used to drive around in an old beat up car with no window tint on 275, driving with my knee, smoking whatever, right?
Yeah.
No care about any
Crack.
sort of. And once you get to the point, like for me, once I got arrested once for stealing from whatever, at that point, every time that I would get high, it was always the lights off so they can't see inside the blinds, lights on so they can't see the flicker, because if the lights are up and they can see the flicker, and then like, oh, the AC just kicked on, someone's walking down the hallway, no one's home, someone just opened the door, did the fridge just, you know what I mean? Like all those thoughts where you're no longer enjoying
Police
the
are
high.
in my fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you have a warrant, I thought I had a warrant, I would obsessively search these warrants because I was out on bond, and
Sounds highly enjoyable.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
No fun.
but I remember like, how did I ever, it was months, maybe a year where I was just outside doing drugs and then it was no longer fun.
I would obsessively try to match the moment that the high kicked in to a point in a song. I did that with a few different, I would be like listening to a song that I really liked and I would, get a bunch of these drugs and I would try to like,
I'm radioactive. Imagine Dragons.
That's similar to a cycle instructor who matches the pulse of it, the student's butt cheeks hitting the cycle seat to the beat of the song.
I do that when I'm running. I
Making
listen
them
to
clap.
Beyonce Halo because that's the pace that I can run at.
I just remember being a kid and being on like the skating rink and like Too Legit to Quit by MC Hammer would come on and I'd be like, that's my song. And I'd start skating extra hard,
There's something about music in certain moments where.
Yeah. And I got in the closet of the Alamo Hotel down the road.
Oh my
on
God, I
Nebraska
forgot you
Avenue.
just spoke at the album. I'm right there. I pass it every day.
And I would, and the Sam Cooke song.
In the closet, so no one, because you had a barrier between the outside world for the paranoia.
Yeah, well, and it was just everyone else was doing that.
Oh, you were partying with people.
Yeah, but I would get into the closet so I could hear my phone, and I played the Sam Cooke song, the Change Gun Come, and in the second verse, right before the chorus, there's a part. No, it's at the beginning of the verse. Sorry, trumpets are introduced into the song, and I would try to time it. And I would have the song playing on YouTube or something. And
let's go through. So let's say you're in the closet, you're watching it, you miss timing it.
Do it again.
Do you replay?
Yeah. Yeah. Scrub. I'm scrubbing around on the thing. Yeah.
Spotify?
And you're like, fuck.
No, YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. And ads, I'm sure, are coming. No, that's pre-ads. Because YouTube was no ads for a while.
Yeah, I don't remember ads, actually.
there might not
That's
be
a
ads
good
yet.
point. Yeah, I don't remember having to deal with the ads. But this was like I didn't have Spotify. I don't even think Spotify was a thing yet.
What year did you? What year was
this particular incident? I remember because it went on for a really long time. I vividly remember that. I guess I was living in this house because I was working in Ybor. I want to say it was like 2011, 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I think Spotify was like 15, 16.
13 years ago.
That's the year I got 13. 14 was the year I got sober, but yeah.
You're getting Sam cooked.
Oh, God, you sat on that one for a minute. I'm proud.
How long were you thinking about it?
Yeah. As soon as I
Just immediately.
Yeah, sure.
No filter here.
All right, so I got my never enough rocks joke in. I was worried I wouldn't get that in.
I'm disappointed that I didn't immediately pick up on that, and I was really.
I was
thinking
waiting for both of you, and I got both of you.
No, there's never. I've had big come ups and small come ups, and it's all equally. So here's a question. Someone was asking me, did you detox from cocaine? And there's no detox from cocaine, but you've done heroin too. So my question is like. My memory of when I would do an obscene amount of coke, which was as often as I could, when you run out, even before you run out and you're almost gone, those few hours when you're out of coke and it's 3 a.m. and you're just depleted, like mentally, that's why I think cokeheads do just crazy things when they're out to try to get some more to just keep that going. Are other drugs, like when you run out of heroin, say your last bump, whatever it's called, and you're out. That's it. Is there an intense come down back to a sober state with opium?
No, I think that the cocaine mental withdrawal is the strongest that there is.
Okay.
You get so sad.
Yeah, I think so. My theory on this is that there is the physical withdrawal from opiates and alcohol, and I did feel fear with the alcohol one. And like benzos, and the alcohol and the benzos can kill you, right? But I feel like the dopamine dip between cocaine and no cocaine is comparable to the physical agony. You see what I mean? Yeah. So it's actually the same thing. So yeah, technically there's no physical withdrawal, but it's just either it kind of is a physical withdrawal because the dopamine dip is so strong, right?
Yeah.
From what is produced by your brain, and also it's a testament to how powerful psychological pain can be.
I would just still have the racing thoughts, but they would just turn negative. It would just go into like, I fucking hate my life.
Yeah, exactly. You're still in overdrive, but now in a negative turn.
Yeah.
The old snowball metaphor.
Yeah. I think if I would have got into meth, I would have been able to make things last a little longer because I feel like the guys that I talk to that do meth, number one, the price for entry is so cheap.
Yeah, you can buy
and it
coconuts
lasts.
of that stuff, dude.
I mean, I couldn't even hold a job with, not that I was really qualified, but I think back and I needed to be constantly stimulated with Coke when I was doing it. Mm-hmm. The half-life on that is really, the ROI on that is really low. I bet EB would agree. Being the finance advisor of us.
Yeah.
Huh?
Matthew can get stuff done more. There's a lot of people that are just professionals that do meth.
Yeah.
It's huge in oil fields.
Really?
Yes. They had to, like 50% of people were testing positive for meth when they screened these oil field workers.
I can see that.
Something that's very interesting about this movie to me is like, I kind of already said this, but it portrays these different paths through life, which is Forrest is like, we never see him drinking. We never see him getting high. He's kind of like culturally conservative in a lot of ways, where he's like, oh, I don't like sex. I'm not interested in this stuff or whatever. And he just sort of does what he's told by Uncle Sam and ends up having like this great life. And Jenny's like free spirit, living like the countercultural shit of the 60s. And we see the death of that dream of her being like, I want to be like Joan Baez. And then they're like, well, you have to perform naked. And then her ending up like cokehead and miserable and all this shit. And it is kind of like, the message of the movie is kind of like, just be dumb and nice and do what you're told.
Is that propaganda?
I don't think so.
By the government to keep us in line and to work our 9-to-5s and to eat their food and to poison ourselves.
And to drink
play
Dr.
ping pong.
Pepper, play ping pong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's propaganda, but it is just looking into reactions to this movie, there's been people who are like, this is a conservative movie, and there's been people who are like, this is a liberal movie or whatever. But it is kind of like, on the surface at least, it portrays that 60s hippie lifestyle is ultimately really destructive and unfulfilling.
I'm not against that possibility, but at the same time, there's a portion in my life before I was aware of the Academy's political involvements, general Hollywood's political involvements. Ooh. And so I'd like Forrest Gump to sort of stay in that category in my life. And I don't,
okay.
You know what I mean? I'm sure.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. It could just be a good story, but.
You know, Stanley Kubrick was making moon landing footage, so we could all be America.
That's a conspiracy when you have Chris on that I would love to discuss.
Yeah.
The recent Instagram reel that I saw was, because now that he sends me them, my algorithm is suggestive that I'm interested in them. And they're interesting. Is that Nixon? Was it Nixon that was president?
Kennedy was president during the moon landing.
Somebody at some point, maybe the conspiracy, but the president phones to the moon. Which at that time, I don't know. Chris was saying there's no cellular service, so it can't happen. I'm wondering if maybe he was phoning into NASA and there was some sort of, but then how did they get service on the moon? Maybe there's some radio comm. So I'm on both sides, but I'd like to learn more about that.
And what did he say?
How's it going?
Hey there, partner.
What's good?
How's the grub?
How's the moon?
Any weird looking other folks up there?
Turns out, no.
Any Russians? Any communists?
Why haven't we been back to the moon? Does anyone?
We have.
Sorry.
Since then, yeah.
Yeah, but not like recently.
There's just not that much to do up there. It's kind of boring.
It's a budget thing. Well, we don't have time for the moon conversation.
We don't.
Yep.
Zach.
What a treat.
Tons of fun, bro.
I hope I was able to offer something.
We're fucking doing Fast and Furious.
Oh, I could have.
I'd love to.
That's a movie.
Do you model yourself after Paul Walker?
For time's sake, I'll say that I could go hours on Fast and Furious because that was such at the time period, there was people around me that were older that had the Honda Preludes and the Civics and the Integras, all of those JDM cars. I have a Honda S2000, turbocharged Honda S2000 that I'm building.
I heard it when you got here.
That's my truck. Yeah.
That was the truck
that was
making that noise?
So it's something that even as an adult who should be growing out of that phase, I still have this nostalgia love for that culture. So
I think it's a great fucking movie.
All because of the movie.
All because of a movie, dude. All because of Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, Paul Walker. Oh my God. And Vin Diesel's sister in that movie. Big crush. Actually, Letty, as I get older, I look
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, man. Definitely. We should have her on.
She got her. Yep. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a blast.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Adios, guys.
And